Hello, everybody, and welcome back to SSOT. We've got an exciting match for you guys. It is Sweden sweep incoming, coming off a massive upset up against Stockfish, taking that one 6-3. And on the other team, we have got EMPATHS with a 6-2 win of their own over Konrei's Nazgor. I am iFlame, joined today by Dolan. How are things going?
Doing well. Should be another great match here. As you said, Sweden sweep coming off a huge win, taking down the 4th seed. We'll see how they fare against EMPATHS, who looked pretty good in their last match, taking it 6-2 over the 12th seed. I believe that was Nagori's Kazgor.
Yep.
Koyori's Nazgor. My bad. Got the letters mixed up there. But yeah, took it quite convincingly.
They did. Both teams had some pretty impressive scores as well. Believe we have got getting into the match.
Yeah, we're gonna get up to date here.
Yep.
But as you can see, that bracket starting to get filled in here. I'm Korean 2 with the win. They will get the winner of this in the semifinals. And it's going to be a 4v4, it looks like.
Yep, no mod 4 is the pick. And we are started. Gameplay should be back in a moment.
Yeah, it is going to be that 4v4.
How are you doing? Looks like it will be pretty even for now. Sweden sweep incoming with a very slight advantage. This kill has found the miss though. It was traded back by Pez on the side of EMPATHS. And
it's pretty level right now. These scores are insanely close. EMPATHS going to take the lead.
Just 3 FCs to 2. And it is really solid recovery on the side of Pez. But I don't believe it's particularly long maps, so they are very quickly running out of time, but it's only 30,000 the difference. The recovery is there on Sweden EMPATHS. Continue to build their lead, but with no more misses, there's been no significant shifts. All it takes is 1 or 2 misses, everybody hitting the stream.
Oh, Musty
goes
down.
Miss from Musty.
Yeah, that's a huge miss, but it's, I don't know if it's going to be enough. They're going to need to see 2 of these FCs drop if they want to have a chance. EMPATHS now pulling away. It's over 100,000 here, iFlame.
Yes, it is, and it's not over quite yet, but Sweden sweep have a lot of ground to make up here. They do still have the big combos on Mbappe, on hip kill, and of course Kalenji on the FC, so if they see a couple misses, they do get one from Painted Koala, but they need we have 2 Painted Koalas, and they need Ear Cute as well.
Kalangi goes down as well, though. That's going to put a damper on things. They're going to need another one. They're going to need to say, oh, there goes Ear Cute. There goes one of the FCs down. It's only Painted Koala for EMPATHS.
Yeah, the score should slowly go back over, but I'm not sure if there's enough time. Miss once again from Kalanji. That was one they couldn't afford, but Painted Koala finds the miss and the score lead. Could go back over, but
I'm not sure what's going on. We seem to have 2 instances of Painted Koala here on the screen.
We do. But they're different Painted Koalas. We're just going to call them both Painted Koala for now. Oh, but both of the big combos on the side of Sweden sweep have dropped off. So just like that, they're on the back foot yet again. And EMPATHS should be able to close this one out pretty cleanly as we get into this last section.
I'm not sure what Pez's combo is at right now because they've been hitting some, a lot of notes, but the combo's still stuck at 0, so some client issues there, but thankfully the score is up to date, and it's still over 100,000 points here.
quite a few more misses on the side of Sweden Speed incoming. Not going to be nearly enough. EMPATHS, they have the recovery combo. They've got even EMPATHS now. Should be fairly high up there.
And that'll do it.
1,000. And secured point for EMPATHS.
Yeah, the last combo in Mbappe fell, sealing any chance away at recovery, and that's going to be a point for EMPATHS, as you said. A convincing win on this pick.
And we kind of rushed into the gameplay before this last pick. We didn't really get much of a chance to talk about potential picks and bans. So let's talk about these two teams quickly. On the side of EMPATHS, of course, these are one of the stronger teams in the tournament, on paper at least. We've got players like Batball, Gaby, Painted Koala, You're Cute, Pez, Arj, and Arco. And Doland, I have an unfortunate news for you. They are actually both named Painted Koala on the sheet. I imagine it's a it doesn't even look like an 0-0 situation.
I don't know how they did that.
They're just both named Painted Koala somehow. The one Painted Koala is Swick. The other Painted Koala is Painted Koala. So, that being said, let's talk about picks and bans for a second. Both of these teams have had low AR banned against them in the last round, that being the Hidden 1. I think that Sweden Sweep Gaming do tend to be the stronger low AR team. They also had the Nomad 4 banned out against them last week, whereas EMPATHS struggled a little bit on Nomad 4. And so it looks like we do have the Nomad 2. That is going to be a 2v2, and we've got Hifkill and Nessie in for Sweden Sweep. EMPATHS roster yet to be determined. This is, I believe this is somewhat Sweden firing effect, 132 BPM.
Still waiting to see what the roster is going to be for EMPATHS.
I guess we have a little bit more time here, so I can finish talking about these teams. EMPATHS looked really, really good on the Hard Rock, especially last week, so I'm expecting that to be one of the big focuses for them this time around. Whereas you look over to Hifkill, they do love the low AR. I expect we are going to see EMPATHS ban out some of those low AR picks. There's actually only one AR8 pick this week in that 8 hit 3. Goodbye Ascension. And so Sweden have had a lot more success on some of the Nomads, and notably last week, Everything Will Freeze, that kind of speed Nomad, as well as Yugure One Room, which is of course that AR8 Nomad. That's probably not going to get a chance to pick, so I have to imagine we're going to be seeing more Hard Rocks on the side of EMPATHS, more Nomads, potentially more hit-ins for the side of Sweden as we get Pez and Arj in for EMPATHS.
Finally, a roster, and we're jumping straight into this one. But before we get going, I want to thank our sponsors, Drunk Deer and Wacom, and remind you that you can get 40% off at Wacom with code SSOT40 and 20% off at Drunk Deer with code OSUGO.
Here we go into Hidden 2. And this map gets into it pretty quickly. We're already getting to the burst. This is a real speedy one. Accuracy could be a factor here, as the tapping is not super natural, not super easy to act, but none of these players are having any problems so far. Hifkill still on the SS, and score is going to be even for now until we see at least one miss, and this is a relatively short map. All it's going to take is a couple misses, and those could be the deciders.
And right now it's just all EMPATHS off of accuracy, but Pez goes down, traded by Nessie, so the accuracy is still going to keep EMPATHS in front. A very volatile situation.
Everybody else is the stream, but not Arj.
And now it is just Hifkill, and they see it at the break. That was probably the worst spot for that miss to have come out for Arj. Hifkill knows.
Yeah, and Hifkill can do it alone at this point. the combo from Hifkill is high enough that even if Nessie finds a few more misses, you just need that one big combo to keep up that score advantage. But here's the next tricky section coming up, and Hifkill doesn't need to hold on, or EMPATHS have some nice rebuilt combos to bring this one back if given the opportunity.
Yeah, but now it's starting to get into solo carry territory here. Finally, will go down after 900 combo. And here comes Pez and Arj, as you said. A miss also came out from Nessie, and here come EMPATHS. Are they going to flip this one?
Yeah, Pez is still holding on. Everybody else has found misses. Okay, Nessie's was a bunch of miss, so still some combo, but can Pez hold on? The score goes back over to EMPATHS and hits the stream. Arj does
Pez will miss on the spinner, but that's it. That is it. Pez brings it all the way back for EMPATHS. What was that? What just happened, I played?
You know, it looked fantastic for Sweden into the beginning, but unfortunately Hifkill just could not hold on, and the combo from both Pez and Arj was too much, and then Arj found the miss, but Pez held on just long enough, and that's a very early break point for EMPATHS on that no mod too. And now EMPATHS have quite a bit of momentum. We do, of course, have the bans. I'm curious if we are going to see EMPATHS opt to ban out that low AR. I do think it would be a good option for them looking towards that hidden 3. I do think Sweden are one of the better low AR teams in the tournament. Whereas on the side of Sweden, who do have the first ban, I'm thinking we're more likely to see something like a Hard Rock ban, because EMPATHS have just been one of the best teams in the tournament on the Hard Rock so far. I mean, especially with players like Swick, right, who's very good on the faster Hard Rock. We're going to be getting a DT ban, a DT3. That makes sense as well. There are some very fast players on that EMPATHS team. And EMPATHS ban is going to be that low AR hidden, just to be expected. What are we looking at?
There.
Pick, do you think?
Let's see. The map pool narrowing down quite a bit here. You get that early ban mechanic, which is really nice.
It is. Now, I really like Hard Rock in general for EMPATHS. They could go for the DTs as well. But the big question with the Hard Rocks to me is, which one do you go for, right? Like, do you want a 1v1? Do you want to make it a 2v2? EMPATHS had the #1 score on Hard Rock last week with Pez and I believe Swick. It could be Painted Koalas. There's genuinely no way to tell the difference. Unless I'm missing something, Dylan. Their names are
free mod 3.
Okay.
So maybe just not wanting to dive into the Hard Rocks just yet. Maybe they want to save those.
I'm going to go in for Sarah. She's 216 BPM, I believe. Slightly more tech-focused, somewhat speedy, but at 216, it's nothing crazy.
And I believe that is the actual Painted Koala. You know, it's the L and the I believe, is what's different on them.
I think you're right.
I think somebody pointed out in the chat earlier.
Yes. Thank you, chatter. We appreciate you very much.
Thank you for helping our small brains. All right, so it's going to be Painted Koala, Arj, and Gabby coming in here for EMPATHS. And against Mbappe, Kalanji, and they're waiting on a third.
Yeah, curious to see what the mods are. Thinking we will possibly see Gaby
Ufaye.
Yeah, Mbappe as well.
So we have the roster set here. We're just going to see how these mods stack up. And for EMPATHS, a chance to really establish some dominance in this match with a 3-point lead. off the rip.
Would be a very, very good start for them. But on the other hand, Sweden have a chance to bring it back with a break point of their own. If they can get that break point back, no harm, no foul. They are right back in this, have their own pick, but maybe a tall task if EMPATHS keep up this performance, especially considering it is their second pick. You know they're going to be confident on it. They are such a strong roster. We've got Painted Koala number 2, Swick, and with the tournament client, with this font, it's tough to say who's who, I'll be honest.
I'm staring at it. Yeah, that's an I. It's so hard to tell with this client and this font, man.
I'm assuming Swick is the one on the left with Hard Rock.
No, I think that's the real Painted Koala.
Okay.
Swick's in the middle. It's so hard to tell, but like
it's all
you
right.
can tell that that L is a little shorter in the middle, so it ain't an L.
Yep, you're completely right. Anyways, into the map.
That's what we're going with. Anyway, we could be wrong, but you know what? That's what we're going with.
Yep, and you know what? If we're wrong, not our problem. That's what they get for having confusing names.
Yep, they got us.
They did. Right. Well played. Gibby with the first miss. Everybody else holding strong so far, but it's a very tricky map. There's going to be a lot more misses, a lot more opportunities for misses, especially towards the halfway point of this map, the first big Ki. It is 1 minute and 51 seconds, so every miss counts here as Boncho is a little bit of catching up to, but we should get right back to that shortly.
That's going to be falling behind here as the misses come out here from Swick and Gaby. Still Trip FC from Sweden Sweep incoming. And finally, that will end. Kalanji going to be the first miss. That's the Nomad, though. The Hidden Hard Rock looking really good for Sweden Sweep at the moment.
Those modded full combos are the big ones, right? Those are worth so much more with the multipliers, especially when you have such good accuracy on both players. 98 Hidden, 98 Hard Rock, and we continue to see struggles on the side of EMPATHS. Everyone except for Gaby now finding misses, and even Gaby, that's all full combo reset for the side of EMPATHS. We do see it traded back from VA, that's one full combo down, but Mbappe still going strong on the Hard Rock, and we're nearly out of time, I think.
Yep, and Mbappe will finally go down here, but the damage is done. Kalangi there supporting on the Nomad with the big combo in the lobby. That is a massive, decisive win here for Sweden Sweep incoming, and that is a break point, a 31% break point. Coming in from the 13th seed.
Yes.
That's pretty ridiculous. And I don't know if that was a mispick. It's hard to say it was a mispick, but it could have just been that situation where everybody just had their worst run on the map.
Certainly could be. I have to imagine it probably was just a few low rolls, and maybe they weren't expecting such high combos from Mbappe and VA. Those are very impressive scores, a really solid team score, and so all of a sudden EMPATHS are not able to capitalize on the break point. Sweden have the next pick, and they could bring this one right back to 2-2 with the right pick. It is kind of an unfortunate pool for Sweden, only having one low AR map in the pool. I think 2 is generally pretty common. Whereas this time, you don't have that second low AR map to fall back on. So EMPATHS only needed to 1 ban, and now Sweden have to look towards a new skill set. But they certainly do have some options. We could potentially see them look for one of the Nomads.
Hidden one.
Yep, hidden as well. Something they've looked good on. And this is going to be a 1v1. And who do you pick, Doland? On each team, stacked rosters, lots of good players.
I mean, VA looked really good just now on Hidden. You have to wonder if maybe Sweden Sweep are going with the feeding the hot hand strategy and just, throwing in whoever's been playing good. Whoever just put up a good score, get back in there. Or, they may have this one scouted.
Yeah, I think there's a chance we could potentially see Arch. I think it's a tough call for these ones because it really depends to who's feeling better on the day, right? You might have 3 different players that can all put up a 700k average on a map like this, and so see who's feeling better on the day, throw them in for the map, and hope they do well. So there is a lot of flexibility, especially for a team like EMPATHS, where you have multiple players that could be very strong on this. For Sweden, probably a couple less options, but I do think that is a good shout, Doran, that you mentioned. EA could look good. Hifkill,
Ooh, Musty
potentially.
Arge.
Oh, Musty, interesting.
So you hit the nail on the head there. It's going to be Arge against Musty, and Musty should provide quite the challenge here.
Yep. 2 minutes, 30 seconds long. 183 BPM. This is going to be your stream hidden pick. Accuracy could be a big factor here, and these players have nobody else to rely on but themselves. The nerves are going to be building throughout the entire map. They're both looking strong to start.
Ooh, Musty.
There's the first miss for Musty.
Yeah, but before that miss, they were both 3-100s and tied. Musty with the first miss to put Arge on top.
Arge spread it right back, and so they're going to should be a slight advantage for Arge before trading it back. Combo is even now, and that's going to be perfectly okay with Arge, who I believe does have the accuracy advantage as well, right? Up at 99, as opposed to Musty, who's kind of at 95. And even in 4v2, 4 accuracy makes a big difference. But recovery on both players, they're both nailing this extreme. Oh, but there goes Arge.
Yep, and now Musty is looking to combo game it here. Accuracy is not going to matter if you have no combo and your opponent does. And here comes Musty taking that lead now. A drop, though, is going to hurt Musty. Musty will need to put quite a large combo up here just because that accuracy from Arge is looking so good.
Halfway through the map now, and one more really tricky section. This ending can be brutal. I do expect to see some more misses, but the miss has to come from Musty if Arge has any chance of coming back. But Musty nails that stream, continues to hold combos up to 800.
What a spot for the client lag.
I know. I was like, did he use the client? Right as we're about to get into the next really tricky stream.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, Musty's back. Arge. Not
Arge,
quite.
Question mark.
I wonder if it is a DC.
I don't like the look of this.
No, but Musty is still holding. Finally finds the miss. But I feel like the work has been done. That is actually quite a big drop. It's going to drop below 500k. There's plenty of time left. Yeah, Arge is still connected, so it seems like just a client issue. We'll find out whether Arge is still holding, I guess, towards the end of this map.
Yeah, if this is not a disconnect, this is one of the most severe client lags I have seen.
And it looks like Arge has won. The results are in.
Yeah.
A final score of 575k to 530k, so Arge was able to hold on to that combo through the entire ending of the map, bring it back, and EMPATHS secure a 3rd point. They get a break point right back.
Yeah, unfortunately, we couldn't see it, but Arge, confirmed on the MP link, does get the win there. So that break in the latter half from Musty was enough to flip it over iFlame in the end.
It was. You saw how close it was, though. It came down to 30,000 points. I still like the pick from Sweden, even though it didn't work out. Considering they are the underdogs in this match, I do think it was their best bet and very nearly paid off. Now EMPATHS have the pick. We've seen Sweden get a breakpoint from them before in the last map. They could do it again. But the picks for EMPATHS are still plenty. It feels like they have quite a few options. Hard Rock is open. Free Mod is open. Even DT, depending on the pick, should be slightly EMPATHS favored.
And it's going to be double time 1.
Yeah, yet another 1v1. They are running it back. and I do like this for EMPATHS. Interestingly enough, on the DT1 last week, I believe Sweden Swede had the lowest team score. Nessie put up 400k, so we're going to need somebody else, ideally for Sweden. I wonder if we're going to see somebody like Swick in for EMPATHS. Is a very good DT player, but this isn't quite the speed DT that Swick is necessarily known for. I believe it is a little bit more of a alt DT pick, if I'm remembering the map correctly.
Looks like it's going to be hit kill against Painted Koala.
Yeah.
Waiting for the map to start, but it looks like these are going to be the two players here. And
it is Swick, not Painted Koala, so
I was going to say, yeah,
expected lineup. We should get a panic. Client might cooperate one day.
Client is not happy with us today.
Does seem like an early miss from Hifkill, though. I believe that was real. So, yeah, Hifkill does miss the first couple notes, but not going to be too far behind. Not going to be a big deal whatsoever. There's plenty of time for comeback. Look at the shakes on Hifkill right now.
Yeah, and Swick coming in with better accuracy right now. Even though he got a few misses early on as well. 91% to 84.
Hifkill finds yet another miss, but Swick does trade it back, so now it's Hifkill with the advantage. Does need some accuracy to start bringing this one back. There goes Hifkill once again, and Swick is on the recovery, and Swick is just going to continue to push this advantage. Is so good at some of these speed picks, all the way back up to 94. Of course, Hifkill continues to struggle with the accuracy quite a bit more. We do have a little bit more to go, but this map is over.
Yeah, and that miss is going to seal the deal right there. Nothing Sweden Soup can do. Swick looking very nice on this.
Yeah,
90% accuracy. Gonna get the job done.
It's a really smart pick from EMPATHS. They know Sweden do not have the speed roster to match, especially a player like Swick, well known for his speed prowess. And now it's going to be on Sweden. They have the pick. They need to get a point back here. It is crucial. They cannot afford to drop another point. I think if you give EMPATHS another break point, they're not going to let it slip again. They're going to capitalize, and that'll probably be it. So this is going to be an important one.
Yeah, because if they can at least get one more point on the board, they'll make it to that second ban phase. And now we're just going to wait for the next pick here. So Sweden Sweep, good news. It is their pick at least, so they'll have a chance.
Yeah, the pick doesn't feel clear for Sweden, though, right? Previously, you would have said something like the lazer. I do still like the hiddens for them, but even then, Hidden 1 has been picked. Hidden 3 has been banned out. Hidden 4 is very risky because you have to be able to put up a full 4-team roster that can compete against a team like EMPATHS, and I'm not sure they feel they can do that, right? So then you're looking at the Hidden 2, which is more of a precision, and I don't know how they feel about precision hidden, right? It would be really risky. And so free mod 1 instead, I do like it. I am curious what we're going to see in terms of mods, but it is playing with Ruby. So this is going to be kind of more of a consistent aim-focused pick. Likely we're just going to see hiddens on both teams, but this is the kind of map you could pick Hard Rock on. Oh, never mind. This is the, sorry, I'm thinking of a whole other map. This is the finger control map. Aim control map. So I'm actually not sure. It's going to be very player dependent. It's the kind of map where you could take the hidden, you could take the hard rock. Obviously the hidden massively increases the rating difficulty, but with the hard rock, I believe the patterns become a little bit fairly spaced, so that it can be a lot of added difficulty as well.
It's going to be Fie and Gaby in the lobby.
Yeah, I think Fie is the perfect pick for a map like this. So good at some of these more aim control focused picks. And then, of course, you can't count Gaby out of this one. With Fie in the lobby, though, it's almost certainly going to be the hidden on both. I believe Gaby tends to prefer the hidden as well. So we should have the mods confirmed, and there it is. If we can get Gaby loaded in. There it is.
It's going to be 2 hiddens here. And it looks like Gaby has the cleaner start here of the 2. A slider break here from PA at the start.
And yet another slider break. So PA not having a great time early on, but I think just needs a little bit of time to adjust to the map, get a little bit more comfortable, and we should start seeing some higher combo from PA. But against a player like Gaby, you can't necessarily give up that early combo. Every bit matters, so it's just 100 combo lead early on for the side of EMPATHS, and the accuracy is there as well. Everybody hitting those patterns.
Oh, Gaby's going down. Oh, missed several notes on that stream there. Was looking really comfortable until then, but here comes VA now with the combo in time.
Yeah, it's a huge miss. It's a pretty long map though, 4 minutes, so there's going to be plenty of time for more misses, plenty of time for comebacks, and what's nice to see for Sweden is that Gaby dropped the accuracy off of that last pattern, so accuracy even now, and Fia is just going to continue to build a pretty consistent lead here. These patterns are a little bit easier, which is going to be really nice for Sweden. Let them build up that advantage a little bit more before we get into the next really tricky set of patterns. And Gaby has found yet another miss on this easier section. Fia continues to hold. So the score lead is going to go rapidly now. 600 combo the difference.
Oh, and Fia will finally go down, but damage was definitely done there. And Gaby also trades the miss, so that score difference is going to be locked in temporarily. It's about a 30k gap, roughly.
Yeah, but on a map this long, 30k is quite a bit, right? It took that 600 combo to build up that 30k lead, and so we're going to need to see Gaby find some big combo advantage later on in this map. But right now, yet again, trailing by about 100 combo. Accuracy remains even for both players. There's a big miss from PA, dropping the accuracy as well as the combo. Gaby might have an opportunity, but this is a pretty tricky aim section coming up. Gaby's looking good so far.
It's going to be a slow march back towards even here for Gaby.
Yeah,
PA does have some combo and is rebuilding.
It was a bunch of miss for Gaby.
Oh, and that's a miss right there for Faye, and that could do it.
Corley should go back over, assuming Gaby doesn't miss on the pattern. Fie continues to struggle. The score bar flips, and there's still a minute to go in this map. It is still anybody's game, but right now it is Gaby's turn to try and run away with this one. A bit of an easier aim section here.
But the problem is, Fie has absolutely no combo, and Gaby's at 600 here. This is hurting on the score margin for every note that Gaby's able to combo here. And that miss may very well seal it right there.
I think it's probably over. The score lead has absolutely ballooned to about 50,000 points, and finally the miss comes for EMPATHS, but I think it might be too little, too late. The map's running out of time. There's not much combo to be had, and PA cannot put the combo together. It is going to be match point for EMPATHS.
It was a valiant effort indeed from PA, but unfortunately Gaby just had the bigger pop-off moment in that map. It was more consistent overall. The accuracies are pretty close, but in the end, it is going to be Gaby and EMPATHS taking the point. And as you said, it's now at match point, and it will be EMPATHS' pick next.
I will say, despite the scoreline, yes, it is going to be a 5-1 in favor of EMPATHS. I am a big fan of the pick strategy for Sweden so far this game.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This map is a little longer than we thought, bro. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
It's so long. It goes back over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were wrong.
We were very wrong. Gaby
just everything we said.
Yeah, I mean, Gaby just found an absurd amount of misses at the end, lost a ton of score, and
A 6% margin.
yeah, I mean, Gaby didn't even need to hold on to the combo there. Just needed to not go backwards in terms of score.
That's like the second time that's happened in this match.
Yeah.
Where one team has just had it proverbially in the bag, so to speak, and then the meltdown occurs.
Yeah, it really was just a complete meltdown, and now Sweden sweep. It's not going to be 5-1. It's going to be 4-2. But as I was saying before that crazy comeback, I'm a huge fan of the pick strategy from Sweden so far. They opt into these 1v1s. Yes, as a whole, empaths are certainly the stronger team on paper. So you try and isolate these 1v1s. We're still early enough in the tournament that Sweden have very strong players that have high skill caps that can play these maps well. So you isolate the 1v1, try and reduce that team gap, and if you can play well enough in the 1v1, that's all you need to get some points. And that's what they've done so far. We do have the bans, second round of bans coming now, and it is going to be Sweden with the first ban.
And what I'm really curious about here is where EMPATHS is going to go with their second ban on this. Because if the teams are, I forgot if the teams are allowed to ban 2 maps from the same mod bracket or not.
I believe they are.
Yeah, if they are, I could see a hidden 2 ban coming out here. But it is going to be a Hard Rock 1 ban from Sweden Sweep.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Seems like will be the hidden 2 ban. Yep. So very good shout there, Dolan. I think this makes a lot of sense. It's just that like last hidden map. Technically, it's not the last hidden map, but I don't think there's any world where hidden 4 is getting picked by Sweden.
Oh baby!
And EMPATHS.
Remote control.
We've got remote control. DT2. This is an infamous map. Dolan, give us the rundown.
Okay, so I played this map in 2014 when I started playing Standard on my Wacom Intuos tablet, by the way. Shout out to the sponsor. This is iconic speed, okay? It's been a while since I've seen that background image, I'm not gonna lie. But it's,
been so long.
Jumper, there's a lot of jumps in here too. If this is the diff that I think it is. I didn't check.
I believe so, yeah. I think it is. I think you're thinking of the right
diff, then that's the map.
Yeah, it is AR 10.3. And here, let me check the difficulty. It is Insane Diff. Which is the top diff. Yes, so you got it.
That is it. This is the map, ladies and gentlemen. But I didn't play it with double time back in the day, but the jumps on this are ridiculous. In the second half of the map, it definitely picks up, but it's more aim-based, for sure. Aim and jump-based, and heavy on the... Not really so much heavy on the mechanics. The sliders aren't too bad on it, but it's more the triangle jumps, those really specific 45-degree, really precise jump patterns.
Yeah. I remember playing this map as well so many times. Not with DT, of course. These players are a little bit better than most of us. And we have the lineup. We've got Swick as for the side of EMPATHS. We have got CA and Hifkill for the side of Sweden. This is a brutal map. We're going to see lots of misses. And it is both combos down from Sweden early on. EMPATHS hold on to 2 FCs, but it's so early. There's going to be a lot of misses.
It's so early, and if Sweden Sweep are able to combo through the Ki sections and they get some misses from EMPATHS, it is just not going to matter. But it's certainly a brilliant start here. Everything you want to see out of EMPATHS.
Yeah, it is good recoveries, but it is only 1 minute and 30 seconds. So if we don't see both the big combos drop off of EMPATHS, then it might not matter. Here we go into the big Ki. EMPATHS need the misses if Sweden wants any hope. Everybody holding. It's VA with the first miss. Everybody else holding on for now.
Actually hit the jump, but missed immediately after. And Hifkill is also going to go down, and it is going to be EMPATHS here dominating. That's pretty much going to seal the deal. There's only 1 Ki left, but there's no way they can flip it back. They've literally doubled their score, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it would take a disconnect at this point. This is just an absolutely insane performance from EMPATHS. Can they?
Swick will go down finally. He's human.
He is human. Pez, on the other hand, oh,
That's heartbreaking. No,
uh,
missed the slider. Just misaimed the slider, and it wasn't even one of the jumps. Unfortunate, but Brilliant scores 981,000 points out of Pez. A 49% win on the iconic remote control.
that is without a doubt going to be one of the top team scores of the entire tournament on this map. I would not be surprised to see it top 2 at the very least. And this is match point for Empath. All they need is one more point, and they will move on to the next round of the winners bracket semifinals.
And that was the most wide margin by percentage of the match. I don't think I expected that. I expected to see at least some misses in the middle Ki, but the consistency from Empaths on these double time hard rock picks, these speed picks, these precision picks, really on display here.
Yeah, it's hard to beat. I'm wondering if that was actually a high roll for Empaths. I think if you just had a consistent like 1.8 mil team score on that map, you surely just pick it as one of your first 2 maps. But we've got Hard Rock 2 picked by Sweden. This is a bit of a shock to me. I mean, I've mentioned a few times already, but let's look at the scores from last week. Hard Rock 4. Hard Rock 3, Empaths, #1 team score. Hard Rock 2, Empaths, #1 team score. Hard Rock 1, Empaths were #3 team score, which is a 1v1. And they didn't play the Hard Rock 4. So this is a very bold and risky pick. I have loved the pick strategy from Sweden up until now. This one I'm not a fan of, but maybe they can prove me one. We've got the double painted koala in the lobby.
Yep, and it's going to be against Musty and Mbappe here. Now, Musty and Mbappe is quite the duo for Hard Rock, but I agree this is a bold pick, picking into a team like Empaths. So that would kind of lead me to believe that they're confident on this one. And maybe just banking on the coin flip of, hey, maybe they get a miss. Maybe they low roll and we high roll.
Yeah. And I mean, even looking back to that Hard Rock 3 last week, it was the painted koalas, the 2 best players for that team. This is very heavy precision. And
which one is which?
Yes, 7.8.
There's an early miss from Musty there. I believe Swick is on the right.
Yes, I think you're right. We're gonna go with it.
That L is shorter.
It is. I think so. So with that expert analysis, Painted Koala has found the first miss for Empath. Was traded back by Musty. So now it's going to be Mbappe versus Painted Koala. Trading those high combos, it is another miss for Musty. Oh, and there goes Mbappe.
All the combos are gone. Complete reset. Complete reset. And it is literally anybody's game here. More misses do come out from Sweden Sweep. So it's a very small combo advantage here.
Yeah, but that's kind of all you need when the combos are so low. They should go back up some combo, but there goes Mbappe again. So now Empaths are really going to start to push this lead. You can see the combo advantage is small, but it's already 100,000 points. Painted Koala does find the miss, but traded by Musty, and now Swick has a chance to run away with this one. Score lead up to 200,000, and things are looking dire.
Oh, and no one's got combo, and nobody get combo, and now that 100,000 points is locked in, and yep, that is going to do it. It was just that little combo, that 100 combo in the end there from Swick was enough to seal the deal, and that is going to be a 6-2 win here for Empaths.
It is very well played to Empaths. They will be moving on, of course, to face I'm Korean 2. That is a terrifying to the losers bracket, where they are going to play Watson. That should be a good one, but I believe we are still in the middle of another match in a moment. Nope.
Yes, no, maybe so.
All right. I guess not.
And the score on that one, though, is currently 3-0, Suntan leading Grease Monkey Deluxe. So we might be able to get over to that one. But I gotta say, Sweden sweep incoming here. I mean, several of these maps, you look back at the margins here, look at this. 4 maps, 5 maps within 20%, 4 maps within 11% difference. I mean, this was not an easy win here for EMPATHS, despite a 6-2 scoreline.
No, and I think they're a team to be feared, right? Putting up a solid performance despite the scoreline against EMPATHS, who are one of the top teams. They upset one of the top teams last week in Stockfish, who, to me, you look at that Stockfish roster on paper, Badu, Lucrece, Eternum, Suwagi, Kamenshik, like that's a stacked lineup. Lifeline as well. Beating them 6-3 is really impressive stuff, and I think Sweden, if they can keep up their performance and not get outscaled, they're going to go far in this tournament. Hopefully, we can get switched over.
We're working on that at the moment.
Work in progress.
Keep you updated on anything that happens. Let's see if we can get an MP link.
Any other surprises to you so far, Dolan, in this tournament? There was that very close match between Washingtowa and Jashin. Of course, that was that 8 versus 9 seed, so not really any big surprises there. Watson taking out Court was somewhat as expected, but did go to tiebreaker last week. Was an interesting match, but otherwise, never been too many upsets.
Yeah, otherwise the upper seeds kind of handled things, not too much chaos, aside from Sweden sweep incoming, really. And of course, as you mentioned, that one match that I had the pleasure of casting, Washingtowa over Jashin Konrei.
Yes, looking over, just taking a look at the MP link from the other match so far. Malashevsky. That is a, believe that's either an FC or very near FC on Nomad 1. Really impressive stuff. Unsurprisingly, Malashevsky tends to do those kinds of things. Followed by a 400k win on the, I believe that's the Nomad 3 for Suntan, and then a Nineric with an FC on the DT1, now playing the Hidden 2. And we will be taking a break. We will be back in about 3 minutes, hopefully with the other match. Exclamation mark sponsors in chat. Huge shout out to all of our sponsors, and we'll be back shortly. See you guys soon. All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to SSOT. I am once again joined by Doland, and we talked about this a little bit before the break, but we have got Suntan versus Grease Monkey Deluxe. We will run through things quickly. It was a no mod 1, no mod 3, DT1 win for Suntan, Hidden 2 win for Grease Monkey off of a very nice plays from Yokespie and Melver. Free mod 1 banned out from Suntan, Hard Rock 2 banned out by Grease Monkey, and the scoreline says 4-1, but it should just be 3-1. So I'm sure we can get that corrected. And now I believe we are waiting on the next pick.
I think it's free mod 2. I think it's that's going to be the next pick here.
Oh, I think you're right. And it looks like we're already into free mod 2.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looks like they're underway here. We're just jumping right into this one.
Yep. We've got Malashevsky and his kitten, maybe more commonly known as Zudinator, up against Melver and Bunny Like Money. Melver hidden Bunny on the Hard Rock, and then we've got Malashevsky on a hidden Hard Rock, just hidden for chipi. And it looks like everybody's going to be fairly strong for now. This free mod 2 is on the shorter side, 2.5 minutes long, so every mess is going to matter, as things are going to stay pretty even for now.
Indeed, things pretty close, pretty tense here. It's just a very slight accuracy advantage for Malashevsky and Zudinator at the top.
And
it immediately flips on a single 100.
Yeah, they are going to have a very slight mod advantage as well with that one extra hidden from Malashevsky. Usually doesn't matter, but if we see very close combos, it certainly could. And Melver nearly over-aimed that pattern, but does hold on to the combo. And so everybody is looking strong for now.
But the time he does it, it's a team miss.
It's both of them.
And instantly the dam is given away. It's broken. And Malashevsky and Zudinator are flooding the town.
Yeah, and we're fairly far into this map. The combos are big. The score lead is massive already, up to 100,000, and I mean, Malashevsky and Zudinator are very capable. There goes Zudinator, one big combo down, but then you still have Malashevsky to contend with. Melver finds the miss. Bunny Like Money doesn't have the recovery combo either, and this is just Malashevsky doing what Malice does best.
Yep, Malashevsky and Zudinator cooking up a storm here. The only question remains is, will there be a 2-mod FC? All eyes on one player, one of the very best. Still plenty of map left to go here, but this one is essentially already said and done. That is a massive score gap, and Malashevsky will finally go, but there is no combo to speak of on the other side from Melver or Bunny Like Money. And it's Zudinator with the next highest combo there, 200 and counting. This should be a convincing point here for Suntan.
Yeah, that is an incredible score on the hidden Hard Rock for Malashevsky. You almost get used to it at this point. Malashevsky has been number 2 individual performer across the entire tournament, both in qualifiers and round of 16. Second to only worst HR player, actually. So shout out to worst HR player, who's been just going off this tournament. But yeah, you expect Malashevsky to pop off, and does so, and that's going to be 4-1.
844,000 big ones from Malashevsky.
Yep.
And now the question remains is just, what do you do? What do you do if you're Grease Monkey Deluxe here? I mean, the last win was on the hidden 2 pick, with courtesy of Yokespie Nineric.
Yeah, I mean, you have to probably pick hidden and hope for the best. They won the hidden 2. If I remember correctly, one of those hiddens was banned out. No, it was a no mod 3DT1. So maybe they go for the hidden 3 there, that low AR. That's something that Yokespie especially is very good on, and I think Melver would be decent on as well. But it's still scary, right? You can't just pick hidden in the Suntan and expect to win it. They've got such a well-rounded roster, and it's going to be the no mod 2 instead. We did see this in the last match. It will be Tempest
Going for the very short no mod here, coming in at just under 2 minutes.
Yeah, I have to imagine they're just going to be putting Malice back in for this one, along with Nineric, and that seems to be the case. Andros in for... I don't know why I'm blanking on the team name here all of a sudden. Grease Monkey Deluxe. Very short map, very tapping.
Will it be Nineric?
I would be pretty surprised if it wasn't. Nineric is such a fantastic tapping player. Just, I mean, one of the best in the world, without a doubt. You think back to Konrei's close, that 1v1 tournament. Nineric was just dominating the entire field in anything that had anything to do with tapping. And this is one of those maps. Tough lineup to beat, but bunny like Money and Andros, very good players as well. You have to keep in mind, we are still early rounds. It is still just quarterfinals. And Andros and Bunny Like Money are capable enough players to put up some really high scores on a map like this. So we'll see what they can do up against Malashevsky and Nineric. Here we go.
Certainly looking for a high roll here.
And that's all you can do against a team like Suntan. They've got 1 point off of them. It is the first map Suntan have dropped this tournament. Let's see if Grease Monkeys can claim a second point here.
200 combo and climbing, no issues for any of our players yet. Just a couple of minor accuracy drops, a few hundreds here and there.
Yeah, we'll see if anyone goes down to that first space stream towards the end of this section. There goes Andros, not traded back by anybody. Accuracy, I don't want to say anything. Okay, there drops the SS. A lot of hundreds actually for Malashevsky, but hold on to the combo, and that's really going to be the important part.
Yeah, now Grease Monkey Deluxe, they need a miss to come out. And then some.
Yeah, but everybody...
And Nineric doing the Lord's work right now. Only 1/100.
Yeah, this is Nineric on tapping. But Andros has some really nice recovery combos, so if either player misses on the side of Grease Monkey, then there's an opportunity to come back, but we're out of map, and this one is going to be over.
Yeah, they're going to need that miss to happen pretty much sooner rather than later. Nineric at 500,000 points, and this is where we're going to start to hit critical mass if that miss does not come out from Suntan.
There goes Andros again, though.
And now they're going to need essentially both players to miss on the side of Suntan to have any chance.
Yeah, but we're so far into the map, the combo is just not there. There's no time, and even if we see the misses now, there goes Bunny Like Money. Yeah,
that'll do it.
Suntan, they're going to be on match point, and they are looking very well poised.
Oh, Malashevsky will go down at the end. Unfortunate. It'll be an FC for Nineric. I believe that's 2 100s. 2 or 3 100s right there.
Yeah.
Wow, that is going to be, as you said, match point here. 5-1 score line.
Yeah, 2x100 for Nineric. That's incredible.
But first, we are going to get another. We are going to get a ban phase, I believe.
I mean, what do you ban? If you're Grease Monkey, right? If you want to go for the 1v1, if you want a 1v1 tapping, they've got Nineric. If you want a 1v1 anything that's not tapping, they have Malashevsky, right? On top of
that's the problem. I feel like you can't 1v1 or 2v2 this team.
You want to go like 4v4? Well, they have probably, I mean, if you look at this roster, probably 3 of the top 5 tournament players in the world right now are on this roster. It's so hard to find a ban. You just... I don't know. I don't know what Grease Monkey bans here.
It's going to be no mod 4.
No mod 4. It does make sense. Suntan just going to be looking to the map they feel Grease Monkeys would be most comfortable on, I have to think.
Yeah, they're definitely wanting to narrow down their options.
Yeah, possibly a free mod.
Seal
There's
the
the hidden
deal,
3
and yep, hidden 3. They're not going to take any
Unsurprising.
chances.
No, I don't think you want to leave up Loyar hidden, especially against a team with Yolks Pie and Melver. I believe even Paper Candle is quite solid at some of those low ARs, so that's a solid 3v3 roster right there. But unfortunately for Grease Monkey, Suntan, they've got match point, they've got the pick, and they could put this match to sleep right now. They've got a lot of options left.
How will they attempt to do it here on their first match point? And it's going to be free mod 3.
Terra is the pick. Another very short one. They're just looking to get this match over with. 1 minute, 51 seconds. Curious to see if we're going to be getting any overmods. I have to imagine for Suntan, we're almost certainly going to be seeing Malashevsky, as well as Ninarek. This is kind of tapping oriented. On the side of, okay, looks like rosters are locked in for Grease Monkey here. Andros, Yolks Pie, Paper Candle. Just waiting on the last player for Grease Monkey. Honestly, they have lots of options. We've only seen a couple players, so I'm not sure. Like, I think we've only seen Malashevsky, Ninarek, and Zudinator. Oh, as Kriller as well. I do think Kriller would be fantastic on a pick like this. But again, they have quite a few options.
Yeah, they have so many options. I was going to say probably either Kriller or Zudi here.
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, I don't think there's a bad choice here. It's going to be Kriller, yep.
Yeah. Almost certainly going to be Yolks Pie taking hidden. Hard Rock maybe for Andros.
And, you know, would not be surprised to see a hidden Hard Rock out of Malashevsky, but they may just want to keep things simple to close the match out.
Yeah, I mean,
just take that Hard Rock.
Yeah. I know Kriller could definitely take the Hard Rock as well, but it's going to be on the hidden instead. Hard Rock for Ninarek, that double mod for Malashevsky, and Grease Monkey is more expected, right?
Oh, now this
hidden,
interesting line pick for Grease Monkey. 2 Hard Rocks coming from Andros and Paper Candle, so their own form of overmod, the conservative overmod here.
I believe everybody does need a mod.
Oh, really?
Unless I'm misremembering, I'll double check while you commentate, but I believe everybody needs 1 mod at least. No,
I was going to say, no, I'm pretty sure you're allowed to have some no mods. You just need 1 hidden and 1 Hard Rock, I believe, is the requirement.
Yeah, it is 2 hidden, yes, 1 hidden, 1 Hard Rock, 2 mods minimum. But yeah, I did check the rules, and I stand corrected. Andros finds the miss, traded back by Ninarek. Things are going to stay relatively even early on. But it's a short map. Early misses count, and right now Suntan are winning just off of accuracy.
Yeah, and that mod advantage. But if one more miss comes out, I mean, they're right there, Grease Monkey are. They do need that miss to come sooner rather than later. As you said, it's a pretty short one.
Yeah, there's 1 more spike, and the miss needs to come on that spike. We're most of the way through the map already. Last Ki, here we go.
There is a miss. Ninarek, it's traded by Andros. And Paper Candle.
Yeah.
That might do it. That'll do it.
I think so. As we come towards the end of this map, it is Kriller and Malashevsky holding strong. Yolks Pie as well, but unfortunately it will not be enough, and Suntan will be your victors.
And Kriller is going to go down here at the end. Unfortunate. All eyes on 1 player, though. Will bring home the double mod FC Malashevsky 1.1 million points, and that is the win for Suntan. 6-1 over Grease Monkey Deluxe. Well played to everybody.
Very well played. Suntan will be moving on. They're going to play the winners of our next match, Chipi Chapa versus Optimus Prime Rib. That's the 3 versus 6 seed, going to be an absolute banger. Grease Monkey, of course, not eliminated. They do still have the losers bracket. They're going to be going up against Stockfish. That is a scary match for them, up against the 4 seed in losers bracket. So it's crazy to think that we are going to see one of either Grease Monkey or Stockfish eliminated so early on in this tournament.
That is what happens when you get an upset. It throws the bracket into proverbial chaos, but they are the ones who have to pay the price, unfortunately. Suntan should be a good matchup in their next match between whoever they face. At 3 and 6 seed also should be quite the entertaining match. And I believe that is our last match of the weekend.
No, we got one more 15 minutes from now. And that, of course, is going to be Chipi Chapa versus Optimus Prime Rib, our 3 versus 6 seed. Winner of that match will move on to face Suntan. Yeah. And we will be taking a short break, though, just get things set up for the next match. And we will be right back before that gets started. So that is going to be it for us for the moment. I have been iFlame, joined by Doland. I'll be back in about 15 minutes, so don't go anywhere. Anything you wanted to add, Doland?
Nope, it's been a pleasure. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Yep, see you in a bit. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to SSOT. Started off with EMPATHS beating Sweden sweep 6-2, followed up by a 6-1 win for Suntan over Grease Monkey. And now we are here for the final match of the weekend. Chipi, chapa up against Optimus Prime Rib. These are two incredibly stacked teams. C3 versus 6. I'm iFlame, joined by the wonderful Dio. How are things with you?
Doing great, iFlame. I finally took down my Christmas lights today. It's been a good day so far.
2 months a little late, but
A little, a
it's
little, a
okay.
little late, but you know what? I like some lights in the winter. It's dark and cold here.
Fair
You
enough.
need some bright lights in the nighttime. Um, Chippy Chapa versus Optimus Prime Rib in a competition for best team name. I think Optimus Prime Rib comes out on top. In terms of the
Yeah, I'm
actual
with
OS
you.
match, I'm not sure exactly who's going to come out on top. These are two pretty good teams, though. Chippy Chapa, one of the top 3 qualifying teams out of the qualifiers, with Ciccone, Scroll, Intercambing, Allegrissimo, Akali Bed, Arnold, and White Cat, a 7-person roster. And they did not have intercambing during the qualifiers. They still got third. So very, very good team. Optimus Prime Rib with Taro, Rhythmic RS, Almighty Door, Kama, Tallulah, Decaton, Erison, and Razorfruit. Full USA team. Also extremely strong. So I'm not sure exactly how this matchup goes, but I think it's going to be a good one regardless.
Yeah, could go either way. Both teams have had some very hot performances so far. I believe these are the some of the qualifier scores for Chibi Chapa. You can see on screen. They were third place, but let's talk about some of the strengths of these teams, right? Chibi Chapa have had a lot of success on some of the hard rocks, but not only that, they've had a lot of success just letting Arnold play hidden and free mod 1v1s. You take the hidden 1v1, you take the free mod 1v1 with Arnold on hidden, and they've had a lot of success doing that. Quite a bit of success on speed as well as the DTs. So those are going to be their kind of points of strength. On the yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this team, just to talk about the qualifier results a little bit, they were number 1, number 2, number 3 on Nomad 2, Nomad 1, Nomad 3 in
Mhm.
qualifiers, respectively. Number 2 on Hidden 1, number 2 on Hard Rock 1, and then top 2 on every DT map, with number 1 on DT1 and DT3. So, very good speed team, even in 4v4. Very good Nomad mechanics team and tech team, even in 4v4. And of course, top 8 on literally every map in the qualifiers. I think their worst placement was number 6 on Hidden 2 and Hard Rock 2. So,
Yeah.
extremely good team. And those were the only 2 maps in which they were not top 4. So, yeah, very, very good team, very consistently strong across the board. And as you said, some really standout players who can go in on with those 1v1s and just take preference mods to make them very, very easy to win for this roster.
Yep. Optimus Prime Rib were a very consistent team in qualifiers. They pretty much across the board, for the most part, they were somewhere between that 8 and 9 spot in qualifiers. Did look especially good on a couple of the hiddens and hard rocks, as well as the faster DTs. So I think speed is going to be very hotly contested between these two teams. They also have some very high skill cap players that can go in for the 1v1s. But overall, I think these two teams have quite a few overlapping skill sets. They both like the hard rock. They both like the DTs. No mods and free mods will be a bit more up in the air. But with so much overlap, I think we're going to have a lot of highly contested picks and potentially quite a few breakpoints in this match.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the standout members for Chippy Chapa in terms of going in for 1v1s and being able to abuse something that they're really comfortable on. How about Erison on the side of Optimus
Yeah.
Prime Rib, right? Like going in for that DT1 or DT2 and being able to just completely demolish pretty much anybody else in the world, I think. So definitely a scary roster here for Optimus Prime Rib, and I think there's going to be a lot of contestation between these two teams. Definitely, if you're a betting man, you vote for Chippy Chapa, but Optimus Prime Rib, not to be trifled with, still a very strong team, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they can stack up against each other in this matchup. We're getting ready. Let's head into it. Chippy Chapa versus Optimus Prime Rib.
Let's
There we are. All right, we're back.
All right, into picks and bans. If you are if you're Optimus Prime Rib, I think you do have to ban out some of those 1v1 maps. Players like Arnold and Arson, like you mentioned, are just the best of the best in their respective skill sets, right? Arson is almost unmatched at speed. Arnold is so good at some of these rating picks, can even play the speed quite well as well. So even though I think Optimus Prime Rib do generally like the speed themselves, I'm not sure if you can afford to leave it open against this roster, especially assuming they have intercamping now. It is inarguably one of the most stacked speed rosters in the tournament. Ciccone and Scroll, you could honestly put together any 5 players on any given speed pick, and you're good to go.
Yeah, so a lot of difficulty, I think, on the higher numbered speed picks, like the Nomad 3, the DT3, DT4. I think on the DT1, DT2, Optimus Prime Rib are going to be just fine. But definitely on those higher team size picks, they're going to have a little bit of trouble. As a reminder for anyone who is just joining us for the first time, format in this tournament is a little bit unique. The number next to each pick is actually the team size on that pick. So Nomad 1 is a 1v1, Nomad 2 is a 2v2, Nomad 3 is a 3v3, Nomad 4 is a 4v4, and the same holds true for the Hidden Hard Rock, Double Time, and Free Mod pools. Tiebreaker is played as a 4v4 as well, despite there only being one tiebreaker. As for Chippy Chapa Chapa, for Optimus Prime Rib, I feel like they're going to have a better time trying to make good on a lot of the strengths of their hard rock players. People like Kama, Decaton, Razorfruit, Tallulah, all of these players are really strong on hard rock. And I think, even on those lower or higher team size DT picks like the DT3, DT4, they have a pretty good speed roster for this team, right? You have Taro, you have Kama, you have Tallulah, you have Razorfruit, you have Erison, right? Like, yeah, I think Chippy Chapa Chapa can put in 5 speed players on basically any map and be happy. But I think the same goes for Optimus Prime Rib. So there's likely to be a lot of competing rosters on these maps that are really, really similar. And I think a lot of this is going to come down to how well the rest of the pool goes. I think both of these teams are pretty well suited to free mod. I think that the roster for Chippy Chapa Chapa is actually a little bit rough on hidden. I think that they are going to have a harder time on hidden than it might look like at first glance. Yeah, you have Arnold, but a lot of the rest of these players are not really hidden mains. I think Arnold, Scroll, Intercamping are going to be solid on some of the higher team size hidden picks, but a lot of the rest of the roster really doesn't want to play that versus I think a lot of the roster on Optimus Prime Rib side being relatively happy playing that hidden mod.
Yeah, and apparently Arnold is not actually here for this match.
Oh,
and he was third overall. Yeah, he was third overall in qualifiers. I think their best performer as well in round of 16. That's going to be a big loss. They won't have quite as many options. You can't just take that hidden one anymore. So even the hidden 2, I do think one of the big strengths for Optimus Prime, you did mention the DT, yes, which I think is good for them, but that hard rock, right? They have players like Kama, Decaton, who can go in for those 1v1s, those 2v2s, and even outside of that, you have players like Taro. So I think we're likely to see Chippy Chapa Chapa banning out at least one of those hard rocks early on, depending on what is left open. Just as a reminder for you guys, the pick ban is a little bit different as well. We have 2 picks, then we get our first round of bans, 4 more picks, I believe, and then our second round of bans. So it looks like DT1 is going to be the first pick for Optimus Prime Rib. And who goes in for this one, do you think? It could very easily
I wonder.
just be...
Boy, I wonder, on the team with Erison, who goes in for the speed 1v1, right? I don't know. Oh, tough to call. But yeah, no, I think it's just Erison. I think they're just using the Erison buff for this map. As for Chippy Chapa Chapa, I think you're looking toward probably like a Colibed or Ciccone to go in for this on their side.
I think we're more likely to see Ciccone. Probably, I think if it was more of an aim-focused DT, probably that would make sense. But for a map like this, definitely would prefer a player like Ciccone. But we'll see. I think Ciccone was in last week with T1, of course, a very different style of a DT1.
Last week's DT1, very different. Last week's DT1 was Crush, so still speedy, but far more aim-focused. Generally speaking, the pools in this tournament will not adhere to any sort of general formatting. You're going to kind of see some mechanics and some gimmick in the 1s and 2 slots, and then some more mechanic and some more gimmicks in the 3 and 4 slots, and trying to balance those throughout the round. And it looks like we are missing one of the players, as Optimus Prime Rib not starting up, so I don't know if that's a tournament client bug, probably just a tournament client bug, and maybe we can get the player actually in there. Although Ciccone FCs, I don't know how much it's going to matter.
It's true. I mean, Arson is in the lobby, just not on the screen. May just be in the wrong slot, but as far as we know, we have at least one full combo, so that's pretty cool. It would be nice if we could at least see Ciccone. Nothing to be done about Arson being in the wrong slot. That's unfortunate, but yeah, you can't abort now. Ciccone still on an FC though, 500,000 halfway through the map. But the big question is Arson matching, right? And will Ciccone find a miss? These, with the quality of players that we have in this match, they could potentially double FC. It's not likely, but you honestly never know.
Definitely possible. We'll see how the accuracy stacks up at the end of it all. Harrison is playing just in the wrong slot, so unfortunately that means we don't get to see him, but the match must go on. So is Ciccone going to find this full combo? 7x100, 99 accuracy, drops a ton of ac at the end. Wow. That might be enough to give it over if there's a full combo for the side of...
No, Arson did not find the FC.
Nope, did find the 5 miss, so that is the FC for Ciccone winning that one out. And a first pick break point for Chippy Chapa Chapa.
Yeah, not going to pay off. And I do think that Chippy Chapa Chapa are going to have quite a few options still. They can go right back into the DT very easily because outside of Arson, they have quite a few good speed players, but they need some of the players on Chibi to falter a little bit. We see Ciccone has been absolutely dominant on the DTs all tournament long, and no surprise in my mind, remote control, they're going to go right back to DT. 2v2 this time, so both are going to have an extra player. Quite possibly a Razor Fruit might come in for a pick like this. Much more of an aim-focused DT. Well, everybody knows remote control.
Yep. Yeah, this is the original set of remote control mapped by Garvin. This one quite old and quite storied, ranked in 2012, and with some of the first PP records on the game being set on this after the development of PPV2. This map was around before PPV2 and finally started getting some DTFCs afterwards. It's a classic map. If you haven't played it, you probably should. And this is one that's really aim-focused, but still quite a lot of bursts. The triples and quints in this, though, are quite spaced. So if you're not able to kind of flow through them well, you are going to miss on this map. Difficult pick for a 2v2, but both these teams are very solid on DT aim. You have intercamping Whitecat coming in for Chippy Chapa Chapa, and Rhythmic RS and Kama coming in for the side of Optimus Prime Rib.
Not a long map, minute and 37 seconds, and it is much more. He's not super comfortable, but we can certainly see some high combos. We do see big misses out of intercamping though, and nobody else yet to find the miss.
Yeah, these early triples can bring a little bit of a combo advantage. I don't think it'll matter too much as we get into the rest of the map. Lots of higher spacing patterns later on in this one. You get these kind of awkward back and forths and double back patterns, but no huge misses out of any player here. As we get closer and closer to that first PI time, where you're going to expect to start seeing some misses. First big spacing jump pattern coming up. Does everybody hit it, or do we see some misses? It's another one from intercamping, and this pick backfiring on Chippy Chapa so far. Missing on that first big jump pattern and at the start, going to really bring down intercamping's score. It's all on Whitecat to FC this and pray for misses from Kama and Rhythmic RS. And Unfortunately, those misses not coming through. So for Optimus Prime Rib, looking to take this breakpoint right back, and it might already be enough.
Yeah, it's an incredibly short map. They might just be out of time. There is one more PI section, but it need to be a complete meltdown. There goes White Cat, and that is going to be it. So point right back for Optimus Prime Rib. Teams trading breakpoints so far. That's going to keep things close. Both players on the side of Optimus Prime Rib do drop their FCs, but they have done enough to secure themselves the point, and they're going to feel pretty good about themselves. So maybe DT not the pick for chipi chapa, as we see why DT is going to be so hotly tested this entire match.
Yeah, this is kind of what we expected from these teams, right? Is for these DT picks to be pretty hotly contested and for them to be pretty evenly matched, trading those picks 1-1 right at the start of the match. So I'm expecting to see some bans from both of these teams kind of targeted toward their weaker side, especially with Arnold missing. I think you may see a chipi chapa ban out something like the free mod one or the hidden one, or if they feel like one of their hard rock players can go in for the free mod one, maybe keep that open and just go with the hidden one. And for Optimus Prime Rib, feel like against a team like this with some really, really good tech players on it, players like Scroll, players like White Cat, very, very strong on the Nomad 1v1, maybe we see them ban that out. Though you do have players like Decaton and Kama on the side of Optimus Prime Rib, so not sure exactly where they want to go with their bans. Maybe just toward one of their weaknesses in the qualifiers in comparison. It would be stuff like the early hiddens, and it would be stuff like the kind of hard rocks as well. But chipi chapa actually going to ban out that DT4, so not wanting to go up on the full roster of Optimus Prime Rib on that DT mod. And Goodbye Sengen banned out by Optimus Prime Rib, so no low AR reading allowed for the side of chipi chapa. I'm actually surprised at that ban a little bit, given that they were pretty much neck and neck on that low AR hidden in the qualifiers.
Yeah, I mean, they must not be aware that Arnold is missing, right? Without Arnold there, you pretty much have Intercambane as their kind of main low AR player. A White Cat as well can play the low AR, but is not super known for it. And so I think with players like Rhythmic and Almighty Door, they could have had the advantage on that, but just going to play it safe, ban that out. And we have got playing with Ruby. It is going to be the free mod 1v1 selected by Optimus Prime Rib. And this one is pretty flow aim heavy, pretty aim control intensive.
Yeah, this is kind of the like Nomad 6, quote unquote, of the pool, right? If you're looking for something that's lower BPM streams coupled with high BPM 1.6 and some 1/3 all over the place, this is the sort of finger control alt hybrid pick. It is CS2, so relatively easy to deal with on hard rock, and of course, still pretty high approach rate as well. I think this map is like AR 9.8 or no, AR 9.6 and CS 2.8. So a little bit more difficult on hard rock and a little bit more difficult on hidden, but not by much with either mod. I think we're probably going to see Decaton or Kama in for this on the side of Optimus Prime Rib, and it looks like Chikoni in for chipi chapa.
Kama being in is almost certainly going to be a hard rock. I'm assuming it's going to be a hard rock on Chikoni as well, but I do know Chikoni is comfortable on both mods, so it's potentially hidden as well there.
See what both of them want to take. I kind of agree. We're probably going to see double hard rock on this for both of these teams. See what they actually end up wanting to go with. A lot of the patterning in this map is really focused on the flow aim, the doubles, and a lot of longer streams. This map does have some pretty high spacing 1/3, does have some tricky 1/6 sections, but I think a lot of this a little bit more focused on the flow aim than just pure finger control.
Double. We have seen players so far, at least in the previous two matches, really struggled to get above 600 combo on a map like this. The aim control patterns, especially with the hard rock, do get fairly spaced, especially as the map goes on. And there are so many breakpoints throughout the map. It's relatively consistent in difficulty, in the sense that there are some very tricky patterns to catch people out all throughout. And there's not really any free sections of the map for the most part.
You already see these perfect stack sections right into some more high spacing streams. Really tricky for either of these players, but neither of them dropping so far. Still looking solid for both of them on this map. Accuracy about the same as well, slightly in favor of Ciccone, but nothing to write home about so far, as the score pretty much identical between the two teams. This 1v1 going pretty solidly for both of them. A bit of an act drop on Ciccone will bring them to the exact same accuracy now, as both players holding the full combo, both players holding their accuracy, both players holding their nerve. We're getting to that about 600 combo point that you mentioned earlier, iFlame, and neither player willing to give an inch so far, still holding this double FC, as neither of them dropping on the buzz sliders, neither of them dropping on the 1-6 finger control, neither of them dropping on the flow aim. The 1-8 triple is still catching out neither of them, and juggling all of that while changing back and forth between high spacing, high curvature, and these perfect stacks. No doubles misses. There's one in the bottom right corner for Kama, finally dropping, and it's now Ciccone with control over the map and control over the score lead.
That is a big one. One of the worst places you can miss. Not quite at that halfway mark, but very nearly there. So Kama has lost a lot of score potential, whereas Ciccone still going strong, already up to 1K combo, nailing those quads, the burst as well, and started to recover, but not going to be enough. See a big miss from Ciccone, and these happened relatively soon. Still a lot of map to be played, but quickly running out.
And time just keeps running out right now. Ciccone is on 1200 combo here, still holding this FC, almost 100,000 score lead in a 1v1. That's a very big lead, as opposed to, in 4v4 or 3v3, it's not too much. It's comebackable, but 1v1, 100k is pretty huge, and this is still climbing for Ciccone. Yeah, better accuracy for Kama. I mean, 98 Ak on this is really commendable, but does it matter? No, and it might, maybe. There's a miss, but no, another miss for Kama.
Yeah, there's just no recovery on Kama, unfortunately, and there is a minute left, but you're not going to build up the combo in time to really make the recovery on Ciccone. Now, to be fair, can't call it over just yet. In the previous match, we did have one of the players find an absurd amount of misses at the end and just tank their scores so hard that they did end up losing. I wouldn't expect that to be the case for a player like Ciccone, but you never know, right?
We'll see. Again, I also would not expect it, but it's all reliant on Kama keeping this combo anyway. Maybe if we see some massive chain misses at the end, it could go over, but there's pretty much no way. It's an over 140,000 score lead right now for Ciccone, and he's continuing to hold as well. Accuracy is still in favor of Kama, but not nearly by the margin it was before. I mean, it's only, a couple of hundreds in Kama's favor right now, so this is going pretty well for Chippy Chapa, and this pick unfortunately not going the way Optimus Prime Rib may have wanted it to. This was their pick as well. There is a slider break to come through for Ciccone, but that lead is still huge. It's 140,000 score, and with just a little bit of map left, I don't think there's enough time for Kama to bring this back unless we see true disaster, and that miss for Kama, gonna make sure that it's still impossible regardless. There's the end of the map. There's the scoreline, 120,000 in favor of Ciccone on that one. Nicely done on the free mod 1 pick, and now 2-1 in favor of Chippy Chapa as they take yet another breakpoint. 3 maps and 3 breakpoints, iFlame.
Yeah, I know I said at the start of the match I expect to see quite a few breakpoints, but I wasn't expecting quite this many to start this one out. 3 in a row. Neither team yet to take their own pick, but Chippy Chapa are going to be the next with a chance to do so, as they do have the next pick option. Normally, I would have suggested something like a hidden 1, but obviously without Arnold, no longer feels like an amazing pick for them. But I do feel like the Nomads could be quite interesting for them, and they're going to go for the Hard Rock 3 instead. Forget that. We have got... this is 192 BPM. AIM Hard Rock. There you go.
This is a custom map by Wafer. This is a throwback to some older style mapping by Wafer, where he used to honestly put out a lot of really nice, awkward aim maps, and this is very similar to that older style of his. It's just aim consistency with some wide angle jumps. Like, there ain't much to it. CS 5.5, so a little bit more of a focus on aim control with that higher circle size. But very, very simple style of mapping and patterning for this one. And I think most players are going to be really comfortable on this sort of thing. It's going to be a measure of consistency for both of these teams. They have 6 players between both of these rosters who can absolutely FC this map in solo. The question is, can they do it every single time in tournaments? And that's what makes these maps so difficult, is that you only get one shot. And there's a lot of variance to a lot of runs on maps in this game. So getting that consistent high score is always the challenge. We'll see if these teams are ready for this one. It's Ciccone intercamping White Cat in for the second pick from Chippy Chippy Chapa Chapa. Kama, Rhythmic RS, and Tallulah looking to take the break point for Optimus Prime Rib and keep us tied up.
Yeah, it's a scary pick for Chippy Chippy Chapa Chapa. Not the first one that came to mind, that's for sure, because you have players like Kama, like Tallulah, that are some of the best Hard Rock players in the game. Rhythmic RS is certainly no slouch on the Hard Rock either. And like you said, this one is going to come down to consistency. It feels like both teams have such incredibly strong Hard Rock lineups, and I could see this one go either way, but it's going to be a fairly quiet start to the map, as we shouldn't see any super early misses until we get into that first key eye, so things are going to stay pretty even for now. The slightest of accuracy advantages over to Chibi Chibi Chapa Chapa, but as we get farther into the map, we start to see the harder sections. I think the accuracy of the early combo drops might be a bit more telling. And there goes an early miss from Rhythmic RS, but traded back by Ciccone. Both players missing on absolutely nothing, so that'll balance things out quite nicely.
And neither player having the greatest time here. Another slider break for Rhythmic RS. Definitely a little uncomfortable with some of these angles, it seems like. Yeah, it's simple patterning, but it's all awkward. It's all wide angle. None of it is super comfortable, even if it's simple. So some players may be having a bit of a rougher time than others. You can see those changes between super high and super low spacing as well. Some of these linear jumps making it even more difficult. And there goes Tallulah now as well. Ciccone will trade it once again, but it's 1 FC to 2. Kama versus Intercamping and White Cat. White Cat will actually trade it as well during this KI time, so it's just Kama. He's gone as well now. It's Intercamping left alone at the end of the first KI time, and Chippy Chippy Chapa Chapa looking to convert on this second pick and get themselves the first non-break points of the match.
On a map like this, with how spiky it is during those really massive jump sections, all it takes is one player to hold on. And that can be enough with everybody else dropping their combos, but a map is far from over. I believe there is one more very tricky section, and if Intercamping falls, we could see Kama or Tallulah potentially build up the combo to bring this one back. But Ciccone White Cat are recovering as well. There goes White Cat. It is a small combo drop traded by Tallulah. Everything is on Intercamping now, and oh, there goes Kama as well. Now I don't think they have the combo to make the comeback. Even if we see Intercamping drop, it just might not be enough.
I mean, look at the score for Intercamping alone already at 660k. Yeah. The entire team score for Optimus Prime Rib is just now cresting 1 million. Intercamping is close to matching that himself. He does finally find a miss here near the end of the map, but it's already over. Ciccone is there to pick up the slack, and there's no combo to take advantage of. Even this miss from Ciccone as well. On the side of Optimus Prime Rib. Chippy Chippy Chapa Chapa winning this one by a good 600,000 points. And much thanks to Intercamping for that one. Intercamping +1 is enough to 2v3 the opposing team on this one. And that just goes to show exactly how good his score was. Really solid play from Intercamping, cresting that 800k mark surely by the end of the map as we finish up with the ending bridge. And there it is, 815k for Intercamping, 1.2 million for Optimus Prime Rib, but not nearly enough, as both the supporting scores for Intercamping were over 500k, and unfortunately nobody except Kama over that 500k mark for Optimus Prime Rib.
Yep. We finally see team being able to take their own pick. And we have 2 more picks before the next round of bans, so now is the time to make sure you get your strongest picks out. No point holding on to those picks for later. pick the maps you feel strongest on because they will get banned out otherwise. Optimus Prime Rib do have the next pick, and I don't think you can afford to give up another breakpoint at this point. You need to start getting some momentum back, and we'll see what they go for. They do still have quite a lot of options left. There are quite a few free mods left open. There are the other hard rocks, right? You have the hard rock 1 and 2 if you want to just try and have Kama pop off on one of those. Even Decaton could go in for. There's the hard rock one. I have to imagine they're just going to throw in Kama and hope for the best.
Yeah, this map's another custom here in the Hard Rock pool. Very similar to what we saw with playing with Ruby, but a little bit more geared toward that Hard Rock aim control rather than kind of a mixture of that higher circle size with a little bit more spacing. Aim control, more the name of the game on this one, with quite a lot of finger control as well. This is a relatively short map, 1 minute and 41 seconds, but I've seen players really struggle with this throughout the weekend. This is an extremely difficult map despite that shorter time frame, with the combination of relatively difficult control, 1-6 bursts, 1-4 and 1-3 all throughout the map. This is a tough one. So Ciccone and Kama in once again. We're seeing a rematch from that free mod 1. Ciccone got the better of Kama that time. Let's see if Kama is able to turn the tables on this one and bring home another point for Optimus Prime Rib.
That is the question. Kama has recently especially been one of the best hard rock players, and it is going to be Ciccone who finds the first miss. It's very alt heavy. We've seen Kama do really well on the DT alt pick earlier. And there goes Ciccone yet again. So having a little bit of a rough time on this map early on. Accuracy down at 91 as opposed to the 98 of Kama. Very stark differences in the comfort level of these two players. And Kama is off to the races already. There is still a decent amount of map to be played, but it's not a long one. We're almost at the halfway point. And 150,000 points now, the difference.
This BPM change section, getting some accuracy out of Kama, but that'll be it. Still holding on to that FC, and you'll note the accuracy on the previous pick. Kama was holding 98 till basically the end of the map on playing with Ruby, so really, really good score for him. Lower miss count as well on playing with Ruby, and still higher accuracy by the end of the map. Pecco written out. Don't know how much is going to change, unfortunately, for Ciccone, down at 90 AC right now, compared to the 97% FC for Kama on this. I mean, 97 on this is actually insane. I was watching practice
really
runs
good
for some players, and like A rank was a commendable score. 97, almost 98 on this is actually just obscene. What is he doing right now? Up near 700k, sure to find it. Hits the X wiggle as well. Finally over aims one jump, but it's just not going to matter. Ciccone has missed once again. The accuracy for Kama is just so clean that the score is going to stay near that high 700 as well. I mean, look at the aim control patterns he's hitting on this. Hits the like 112 doubles there as well. No problem. 770k for Kama by the end of it. What a score, actually. That is a nuts play.
That is one way to make a statement for Optimus Prime Rib. They're going to get the point they needed right back, and this is why I was speculating we'd actually see an HR ban out of Chibi Chapa Chapa, because you have players like Kama. The Hard Rock 2 is still open, and so you have multiple Hard Rock players on this team, right? You can throw in Kama, you have Decaton, Tallulah that can both play them really well. But Chibi Chapa Chapa do have the next pick, so not going to have to worry about that for the time being, and can potentially ban out the Hard Rock 2 in the next ban phase. We have got no mod this time, right back to the 1v1 with Anti-Gravity Zone.
Yeah, this one mapped by Nuge. This is another custom map. Hopefully it works this time. We have not been able to see this map on stream all weekend long because it has just refused to work on the tourney client. So I hope, I'm praying it works this time. We were talking about this map as a potential ban for Optimus Prime Rib because Chippy Chapa Chapa have a few really good tech players. Ciccone himself, also a pretty good tech player, but players like Intercambing, like White Cat, like Scroll, all really, really solid tech players. So I have a feeling there's going to be somebody who's really, really strong on this map in particular coming in for Chippy Chapa Chapa. And it is Scroll. Looks like Kama going to be putting himself back in for this map. I was kind of expecting like Dick Hayton to come in for this for Optimus Prime Rib, but Kama has been popping off. I mean, you just saw the last couple of plays for Kama were really, really good. He still top scored the Hard Rock 3 for his team as well, despite, not being able to match up maybe to Intercambing, still top scoring for Optimus Prime Rib. So I think, if Kama's popping off, if he's having a good day, let him cook, put him back in, and keep the ball rolling for Optimus Prime Rib here. Let's get into it. This is a Nuge tech map. This is modern style tech with these really high velocity sliders, difficult cut triples, and XL, decel space streams all over the place in this map.
Here we go into the first KI. We did see Nalashevsky see this map earlier somehow.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. Here we go. Into the big tech section. Both players going to hold on for now. Very early, but it is, once again, slight accuracy advantage for Kama. Scroll not too far behind.
Accuracy pretty similar for both of these players. Neither of them dropping too much. It's about 98 for both of them. Scroll does drop some accuracy, but still holding the combo for now. Don't let Bancho fool you. Maps like this, you kind of take a second and wait on it for those misses, because been fooled all too many times personally. And I'm hoping that wasn't a real miss, but another slider break comes through for Kama, and that looks like 2 real slider breaks there. So gonna be dropping the combo, and Scroll holding on to the FC, looking good for Chippy Chapa Chapa.
Yeah, it's far from over yet. The scores are still incredibly close, only 20,000 and half the map to go. But it is Scroll with the massive combo advantage, and is going to need to drop off in the next PI section. Kama really needs to hold through the rest of this map, needs the big recovery combo, or it just won't be enough. The accuracy is not going to make enough of a difference towards the end of the map, especially with it being so long, and Scroll has a chance to just put this one away if he can hit the majority of the next KI.
Let's see if he can put it away and clean it up here. Ending of the map coming through, and we're getting close to about that 3/4 mark or so. Does hit the wiggle stream there. And if he just holds a little bit longer, this is pretty much already over. Score lead up above 140,000 now, 150,000 for Scroll. Continuing to pop off on this ending. Does miss, over-aims the stream there, but I don't know how much it's going to matter. Combo is intact for Kama. Another break comes through for Scroll. The accuracy is good for Kama as well, up over 1% over Scroll. But is there enough time left in the map? And there goes the combo for Kama, and there goes the score lead for Scroll, back in the favor of Chippy Chapa Chapa, and that'll be the map. Nicely done from Scroll to combo almost to the ending here, pretty far into the second PI time.
Yeah, even if Kama had hit this full ending section, it would have been close. I'm not sure it would have been enough, but this is going to be yet another point for Chippy Chapa on their own pick, of course.
Yeah, 4-2 now for Chippy Chapa Chapa, consolidating the breakpoint and then trading pick for pick with the side of Optimus Prime Rib. Good job for Optimus Prime Rib to stop the bleeding and get that win on the Hard Rock 1, but the breakpoint trades advantaging Chippy Chapa Chapa so far. We'll see if they can continue that after the next round of bans. And now, the pool is starting to get a little bit thinned out at this point. You've got the Nomad 2, Nomad 3, Nomad 4 left. You've got the Hidden 1, Hidden 2, Hidden 4. You've got Hard Rock 2, Hard Rock 4, and you've got DT3, plus the rest of the free mod pool besides that free mod 1. So I think a lot with basically all of the 1-slot maps gone, I feel like we're probably going to see some bans toward those higher team number slots. And there's the Nomad 3 ban from Chippy Chapa Chapa, banning out that Speed Tech Nomad pick. Lots of speed in that map, but still a couple of technical finger control and slider elements in that one.
Yeah, a bit of a surprise. Felt like they, on paper, it feels like they could have put a good roster together for that, but I guess not feeling comfortable on this Speed Tech map in particular for whatever reason. Optimus Prime now have the ban, and we're going back.
Like they may have wanted to pick that, maybe? Question mark? I'm not sure.
I could genuinely see that.
Genuinely see that maybe being a misplaced pick for Optimus Prime Rib. They would have the next pick. So maybe they tried to pick that map and that got recorded as the ban. So if you're chippy choppa choppa, maybe you just ban out the no mod 3 now anyway.
Really good.
That'd be a great ban.
I mean, that would be the smart way to do it, honestly, at this point. If they're gonna show their hand, yeah, Kama thought that we were picking, Taro says in chat, and unfortunately, you gotta know the rules, and they might very well pay the price for that mistake. If Chipi Chop Chop do decide to ban out the no mod 3, they do not. Free mod 4. So we know what the next pick will be at the very least, and Chipi Chop Chop have decided you want to play the no mod 3. We're okay with that. We're confident. Pick it, and we'll put up a solid roster. So that's going to be a fight. A free mod 4 is definitely an interesting ban from Chipi Chop Chop.
Yeah, banning out more alt. And I feel like that's because they don't feel like their roster is good enough on the 4-slot map. Clearly, they have no problem picking alt on some of the lower team size maps, the Hard Rock 1s and Free Mod 1s of the world, but not wanting to go into Free Mod 4 against Chipi Choppa Choppa. And there's Free Mod 3 banned out as well. By Optimus Prime Rib. That's the anti-mod free mod pick. CS 4.5, AR 8.8, 216 BPM, so pretty high object density even at that higher approach rate. And of course, the no mod 3 picked up for Optimus Prime Rib, as they were trying to pick that before and accidentally threw that out while we were in the ban phase.
Yeah, thankfully it didn't end up hurting them too much. But both teams to me, it feels like they have solid rosters for a pick like this. The 2 players we just saw in the 1v1, I expect to be right back in there. And looks like lineups already decided. We have got Kama, Tallulah, Rhythmic RS up against Intercambing, Akolibed, and Jakoni. Akolibed's first appearance of the match for the Speed Tech pick.
All right, let's see how well Optimus Prime Rib can do on this. They need to win this pick, really. If they lose this, it's match point to Chipi Choppa Choppa with the next pick open to them as well. So if they lose this, they may as well lose the match on the side of Optimus Prime Rib. So got to be confident in going for this pick. We'll see how well they do here on this one. Couple of great speed players on the side of Chipi Choppa Choppa to try to bring this one home and give them match point on the next pick. Looking for that break point. But Kama, Tallulah, Rhythmic RS, all really strong on this kind of map as well. These sorts of higher BPM burst and tech maps. Very, very good for all 3 of these players.
Yeah, we have seen some very low accuracies on maps like this for certain teams, so have to keep an eye on those accuracies, see if anyone starts to struggle, but everybody looking pretty comfortable for now. It is just even across the board, accuracies even, combos even. The big question is, who will be the first to drop? This map is 4 minutes long, so we're going to see a lot of big combos with how dense this map is, and it's going to come down to potentially a few misses. The combos are really going to get up there, and then all it takes is 1 or 2 players to make the difference on a map like this. And Tallulah just cursor danced and broke on the slow slider. That feels terrible, and all of a sudden, just like that, Optimus Prime Rib are on the back foot.
Yeah, you're going to be praying for some misses to come out of Chipi Choppa Choppa now, but great accuracy on all of these plays. High 99s for both Jakoni and Intercambing. Akolibed on 99.4 as well, still looking very comfortable. And yeah, Kama and Rhythmic RS look great as well for Optimus Prime Rib, but you still need somebody to break on the side of Chipi Choppa Choppa to bring this home for Optimus Prime Rib. We're not even halfway through the map so far. This is a very high combo pick, a very long pick as well. So lots of room for those breaks to happen, but they're going to have to happen sooner or later as everybody's still comboing through any of this. And 3-way FC still intact here at the break for Chipi Choppa Choppa. You can see the frustration there for Tallulah.
Yeah, Tallulah's got to be a little bit tilted. Still the only miss of the entire map, and it was on that slow slider. We do see some accuracy drops on the aim from Tallulah, but holds on to the combo, and there's a little bit of a slower section before we get into the next really tricky set of bursts. And all it takes, one player. It's Tallulah again on the easy section. Oh no.
And that's exactly halfway through as well. This map is 2500 max combo. You miss at about 1250 there. And it's just so painful, right? Like, needing now multiple breaks from at least one player on the side of Chippy Choppa Choppa for Optimus Prime Rib to win this. They're so far behind. You would need at least 2 people to miss. More misses to come through from Tallulah now. And with a 200k score lead and climbing for Chippy Choppa Choppa over halfway through the map, it's really just on them to lose this map. This is their map to lose. They've got this in the bag if they can hold strong with this 3-way FC, which is actually insane. Still 99.5 plus for all 3 members on Chippy Choppa Choppa. 1x100 on Kama, I might add. 99.3 for Rhythmic RS. So these 2 FCs for the side of Optimus Prime Rib are looking really, really good. And there's actually a 2-way break for Kolibet and Chikoni, but Rhythmic RS will trade it. It's Kama and intercamping to hold, but with multiple breaks for Tallulah and this almost 300,000 score lead still in the way of a victory for Optimus Prime Rib. And only about 200k left on the score line for Kama to add. I don't think this can go the way of Optimus Prime Rib without a complete collapse from Chippy Choppa Choppa here at the end.
Well, they needed Rhythmic to hold on, and unfortunately the opportunity was there, but found the miss on the exact same pattern as the 2 Chippy Choppa Choppa players. Now the question is, are we going to see any full combos on this map?
Definitely possible. Kama and intercamping very, very strong on these sorts of maps, and the accuracy from Kama is still just mind-blowing. 2x100, I think, on this pick. Might be a 3x100, but this is just absolutely obscene. I think, yeah, that's a 3x100 for Kama there with 1 FC, or with 1 extra 100 at the end. We'll see.
I think 4 for intercamping on the 99.78.
5x100 for intercamping and 3x100 for Kama at the end there, yeah, so absolutely ridiculous. 6x100 for Chikoni, I would also add, and 9x100 for a Kolibet. 3-way S rank for Chippy Choppa Choppa on that map to take yet another break point and secure themselves match point for their next pick. There's a reason they left that unbanned after after Optimus Prime Rib tried to pick it before the pick was available. They said, yeah, pick that map, please. We got some good scores.
Yeah, they were happy for it. You know, maybe them opting not to ban the No Mod 3 should have been a bit of an indicator that they were very happy to play it, but might have just been Optimus Prime Rib's pick that they felt super, super comfortable on. But with a breakpoint on that one, might be the straw that broke the camel's back. Chippy Choppa Choppa have the pick. They've got quite a few options left over, and they're up by 3 here on match point.
Couple maps left in the pool as well. Nomad 2 still up, Nomad 4 still up. I would love to see Hidden 1, but I don't think they're going to pick it, given that Arnold has not shown for this match so far. Same for the Hidden 2 or the Hidden 4. I feel like those probably are not getting picked here. They could go with the Hard Rock 2, but I feel like picking Hard Rock into a team like Optimus Prime Rib is a little bit rough. But actually, it is the Hidden 1. Okay.
Are they just throwing in intercamping?
I think it's Scroll. I think Scroll plays
Scroll
this.
too.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly who plays this for Chippy Choppa Choppa, but I think it's probably Scroll. Just looking at the team list, definitely you could have intercamping go in for this based on who's actually been seen so far. I don't think Allegrissimo's here. I don't think Arnold's here. So based on these 5 members, I think it's probably Scroll. As for Optimus Prime Rib, hopefully they have Almighty Door. I think he is their best option for this one. If it's not Almighty Door, it's probably Razor Fruit is going to be coming in for this. So we'll see which members from both teams actually are here and ready to go for this one. It's actually Kama and not a Kolibet?
Oh, a Kolibet.
A Kolibet.
Okay.
A Kolibet has really good flow aim. We've all seen Sidetrack Day DT. You have the flow aim for that. You definitely have the flow aim for this map. Granted, this is with Hidden, but still, I mean, clearly a very good flow aim player.
Yeah. And I mean, to be fair, I mean, Kama not necessarily the one you'd expect to be in for this, but has been absolutely on fire, right? Popped off in that first 1v1, put up a solid score in the second 1v1, and then just last map pulled out a very impressive FC. Now, Kama's third 1v1 of the match, this time up against Kolibed, and both players holding on quite nicely early on, but you can see the flow in gets pretty intense pretty quickly, and accuracy could start to drop off with a miss. There goes one from Kama. Looks like a slider break.
Yeah, slider break for Kama there at the end of the stream. These streams are relatively tricky here, or they start to get relatively tricky later on into the map. These ones feel probably pretty comfortable for most stream farm players so far. This is where it really starts to get rough. These corners plus the constant changing stream velocity and high curvature can lead to some chain misses. There go both players actually on that section, but worse for wear is Kama dropping down to 50k as the score lead for Chipi Chapa Chapa. 240 to 180k now, 190k actually, as Chikoni does, or Kolibed, excuse me, does find another break here. A little bit rough for a Kolibed during this section, but not a big combo lead for Kama whatsoever, and accuracy pretty much identical, so not going to matter too much with a less than 100 combo lead for Kama.
Still half the map to go though, and there are another very tricky flow aim section coming up in about 10 to 15 seconds. There goes a miss on the slider for Kolibed. Oh, but it's traded right back, unfortunately, so Kama not going to be able to claw this one back quite yet. Does still have the time, but needs the recovery combo desperately. It is a Kolibed ever so slightly in the lead right now, and the accuracy is just not going to do it. It's been consistently even. Likely we're going to need to see a chain miss out of a Kolibed.
Yeah, or a pop-off for Kama with just any miss for Kolibed. There's a break on the sliders for Kama, and I think that's it. 60k score lead for a Kolibed going into the ending here. This ending can see some chain misses. There's some very high spacing 1/3 jumps in this section. So players can definitely miss in this part, but I don't think it's going to do enough with the combo lead and score lead right now for a Kolibed going into this part.
Yeah, needed that
I
combo.
don't think a Kolibed was ready for that matter. I don't think he knew that was coming, but it does not matter.
I don't think either of them were, to be honest. They both fell apart on that pattern. But regardless, that will be the game. Chibi Chapa Chapa will be taking this one 6-2. I don't feel like the match score did the match justice. It was much closer than the score line showed, but I mean, some of the scores we saw from both teams were absolutely incredible. These are, without a doubt, two of the strongest teams in the tournament. And unfortunately, one of them is going to be dropping to losers bracket. Optimus Prime Rib will be playing Jashin no Konrei next week. Chibi Chapa Chapa will move on to play against Suntan, who just beat Grease Monkey Deluxe 6-1.
That's going to be a good matchup. Seed 2 versus Seed 3 in the semifinals. For now, let's take a look at the losers bracket. We've got Optimus Prime Rib versus Jashin no Konrei, as you just said. Optimus Prime Rib dropping down from the losers bracket to meet the 8th seed in the losers bracket this time around. Seed 7 versus Seed 4. Grease Monkey Deluxe versus Stockfish in the losers bracket now. Seed 4 dropping down in the round of 16, actually getting upset by Sweden Sweep Incoming. Of course, Sweden Sweep Incoming now also in the losers bracket, matching up against Watson there in the bottom half, and Washingtowa versus Wait We're Goated as the bottom match in the losers bracket there. Wait We're Goated actually upsetting Bunny Battalion this week in the losers bracket. Couple interesting things about this losers bracket. You have seed 6 versus 8 and seed 7 versus 4 on the top half of losers. So all top 8 seeds in the top half of losers. And then in the bottom half of losers, you have 13 versus 10 and 9 versus 14. So this is a weird kind of losers bracket where the top half of losers, just based on the qualifier results, is way more stacked than the bottom half of losers. So that might make for interesting semifinals losers bracket matchups. So now we can go on to the winners bracket.
Yep. In our first match, we move up to the winners bracket. We have got I'm Korean 2 versus EMPATHS, the 1 versus 5 seed. I'm Korean 2 being the only team so far left in this tournament who have not yet dropped a map. But EMPATHS coming off a very decisive win against Sweden Sweep, who, like you mentioned a second, set Stockfish in that first round. So could certainly be a good match. Then on the lower part of that bracket, we have got Suntan versus Chibi, Chapa, 2 versus 3 seed. That is going to be such a good match. Those are two incredibly stacked teams, and I believe they haven't dropped too many points between them. Going to be one of the best ones. But I think that's about it for the bracket. Whoever loses between I'm Korean and EMPATHS will be thrust into the upper side of that losers bracket, where, like you mentioned, 4 through 8 all there. So EMPATHS, if they lose, are gonna have a pretty potentially tough losers bracket run ahead of them, whereas the loser of Suntan, Chipi, Chapa are going to potentially have a little bit of an easier losers bracket run, and that's the reward for being the 2 and 3 seed, right, as opposed to being that 4 or that 5 seed.
Yeah, exactly. So good luck to all of the teams next week. If you want to see the maps that the teams next week are competing on, as that's all of the matches for this weekend, stick around. In about 10 minutes, we're going to get started with the semifinals Mappool Showcase. For now, thank you so much to Wacom for sponsoring SSOT. You can use code SSOT40 at checkout on Wacom's website to get 40% off Intuos tablets. Wacom, of course, a very well-known brand in the OS scene, so go ahead and check them out and use their discount code from us. Also, thank you to Drunk Deer making some very good rapid trigger keyboards, such as the one that Sidetrack Day DT was set on. So go ahead and use code OSGO on their website for 20% off their products as well. Thanks a bunch to Wacom and Drunk Deer, and we'll see you all in about 10 minutes for the Mappool Showcase. Congrats again to Chipi, Chapa. Good luck to Optimus Prime Rib in the losers bracket. See you soon.
See you.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to SSOT. We're here for the semifinals Mappool Showcase. It's going to be a good one. We just finished up with the last match of the weekend, Chipi Chapa versus Optimus Prime Rib. That one going 6-2 in the favor of Chipi Chapa, and a pretty solid bracket for next week as a result of it. I'm Dio. I'm here with Doomsday for the Mappool Showcase here.
Hey, what's going on, Dio? Glad to be back on here. And showing off the semi-finals Mappool, which, let's say, looking pretty spicy. I've had a chance to look through a good amount beforehand. There's a few I haven't had a chance to look at yet, so you're going to get some fresh pair of eyes from me here. But, yeah, I'm sure the players are going to be eagerly awaiting what they're going to contend with next week.
So let's go ahead and start off with it. We saw a brief preview there for a second. Let's go ahead and start off with that Nomad one. It's Embraced by the Flame by Undead Corporation. Rail Lazy's extreme difficulty on this one. Just about 8 stars for the 1v1 this week. And this is very similar to the Nomad 2 from last week. 215 BPM death streams for this map.
Yeah, if you like tapping, then this one's the map for you. With it being 1v1, of course, it favours the team to have one absolute beast when it comes to this style. But I suppose, with it being 215, it's fairly accessible if you have the stamina for it. But it does get quite spaced at times, particularly in the second half. So you have the aim as well as that tapping side.
Yeah, this one can get really rough on both the spacing and stamina, as you said. I think the main draw for this is definitely the higher BPM stamina, but if you don't have the flow aim to accompany it, you're definitely going to miss on this sort of map. So good luck to the players who go in for this on the 1v1. This is a relatively short map though, only 1 minute and 51 seconds. So there's still quite a lot of room for error. If you do miss early on this map, it can really drag down your overall score on this sort of a pick. So making sure that you are completely ready to go for this sort of map is really important.
Definitely. Especially with how long some of these streams get. If you end up just dropping one bit and having a sea of 100s, yeah, your score's just going to go through the floor. And at the level we're dealing with, I think every team left in should have a player that is going to be competent on something like this. Even if it is pushing nearly 8 stars, that's the level of player we're dealing with here. So it's critical in almost every matchup. You need a player that's ready to go on something like this if you're going to leave it open.
Yeah, and this is about the expected level of difficulty for the pool this weekend. Is if you're on a 1 slot, you should be expecting about 8-star map pool difficulty. It's about 2 slots higher than the semifinals that we're at right now. So, yeah, expect some very difficult maps in the 1 slots this weekend. Same for the 2 slots, though not quite to the same degree, as those are still going to be relatively difficult. Some of these maps can start to be a little ridiculous. We'll get some of those later on, but for now, we'll move on to the Nomad 2. Not too much to say on the Nomad 1 there. It's death streams. It's 215 BPM. It's got some flow aim. This Nomad 2 is our first custom of the weekend, mapped by Zek. It is Fukashi Riki no Kengen by Olife Japan. This was actually swapped with another custom yesterday, as we had some difficulty balancing concerns around both this map and the other one, but this has been done for quite some time. This was originally going to be a free mod pick in finals, now moved into the Nomad 2 slot here for a low AR reading pick.
Again, looking at the diff settings, yeah, it does look like prime anti-mod material for very scary players. It's hard enough on the Nomad though, because if the deceptive spacing it has, it's one of those maps that even on Nomad, the high density with everything else going on, the way the spacing is laid out gets super deceptive at times, as you'll see, and the rhythms are fairly complex as well. So even on Nomad, there was quite a lot of reading needed to do well on something like this. Quite long as well. It's not super short. Even though it is fairly low object count, you do need to be pretty consistent on this sort of thing as well.
Yeah, 4 minutes long, this map can be really tough for a lot of players to be super consistent on, just because, as you said, you've got some kind of misleading spacing on this from time to time. It's a lot of very difficult sort of patterning to deal with for 4 minutes, despite the low combo density.
Look at the spacing on those bursts, man. The rhythms chop up, even though it looks very even. Stuff like that, even when you don't have to deal with hidden, is just... It's not okay. And with it being the 2v2, you need at least 2 players that are fairly comfy on this. I do think on Nomad, though, at the level we're dealing with, I think most teams will have a good set of 2 players for something like this, but I can see a few teams struggling to field 2 strong players for this. I suppose we'll see.
I think the big thing for this map is that fielding 2 players who are really strong on this can be way more difficult than just fielding 1 player who would be really strong on this. So I do think this is a bit of an easier map than the Nomad one, but getting 2 players who can actually play this to a competent level, you know, when you're forced on the low approach rate, when you don't have the option to take hard rock on a map like this, can be really, really difficult. Especially, you know, you've got these back and forth wiggle burst patterns in this map to contend with as well. Like, this can be really, really tricky.
That poor miss in the middle, that's tragic. Yeah, the aim patterns in this, as well as the reading side, just it's a very all-around test of just low AR, awkward map ability. Really, you've got a bit of everything here. I mean, maybe it's not like super dense, I suppose, with the BPM being not super high, but it really doesn't need it with everything else it's got going on.
Yeah, this was originally, I think, even lower approach rate than this. I think we ended up buffing this from like AR 7.5 to just AR 8 base, because AR 7.5 it was really hard.
that is kind of mean whoever made that decision. Say AR 7.5 on this. I think AR 8 is plenty.
I think it's just fine.
Yeah,
it's just fine as is. Yeah, I think it's good.
So used to seeing a lot of like these sorts of maps be about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So when you push it 4 minutes, it gets pretty nasty at this sort of length, right? A lot of the tough anti-mod stuff, right, being generally shorter but more intense, but this has the length as well. It does make a big difference in a tournament setting.
Yeah, this one's just long and intense at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no winning with this. Like, you just have to be good. And if you're not just good. If you're not just solid, then it's gonna bite you on this map. So good luck to the players on this one. And now we'll get into, I think we've said as much as we can about the low AR reading there. By the way, as with all the rest of the pools for this tournament, we're trying to do, you know, some mechanics, some gimmick in the 1s and 2 slots, and then some mechanics, some gimmick in the 3s and 4 slots. Let's get into the 3 slot in the Nomad pool. Nomad 3v3 map for some aim mechanics. This one, some anime aim. Hallelujah SM by lots of anime girls, mapped by Jordan LR7, the DILF difficulty.
Yeah, if you like jumps, you got a few jumps here. Just a few. 7.5 stars, and that's not really a diff spike, is it? This is some pretty consistent super aim here in Nomad 3.
Yeah, this is, you know, a lot of Australian aim mappers get their start because they see Grand Senpai maps and they're like, damn, that's good aim practice. Let's make some of that. And I feel like that's kind of the theory behind this as well, is just, this is, you know, when you, multiplayer lobbies in 2015, all right? Bear with me. Multiplayer lobbies in like 2015, 2016. What was the most popular sort of map to put on? It's just R-less maps, right? Just like unranked 4 graveyard aim maps. That's exactly the sort of vibe that this gives off, is the same sort of high spacing, high consistent difficulty level all throughout the map that those have. Maybe without some of the space streams that you find in R-less maps a lot. But
oh, yeah.
It's definitely similar.
Yeah, I see what you mean. You describe it that way, and I can see it. I can see it. It does have that feel of yeah, the multiplayer map you just chuck on when you just want to throw your cursor about for 4 minutes. Yeah, this is that all over. I mean, I guess maybe in those eras as well, you had a lot of diff spiky things, but this is certainly not that. A little bit in the verses, maybe, but it's negligible. It's screen jumps all day. Around about, what was it, about 200 BPM? Yeah, 200 BPM this.
Yep. Yeah, 200 BPM in 4 minutes also. So just like the last map, this is a consistency test through and through. If you're not very good at this sort of high spacing aim, I mean, this is 7.6 stars almost of really consistent high difficulty jumps at this BPM. So if you're not very solid on this sort of thing, you're just going to have a bad time pretty much all throughout the map. There's no breaks whatsoever. There's no easy parts to build up combo on. So make sure you have some very good aim players for this map.
You need a few as well, with it being 3v3. I suppose last week, right, you had the aim map be on the 4v4 slot, but that was sort of Skyflame, more of a sort of standard feel of things, standard sort of difficulty spread. But this one is much more hardcore in terms of just being constant screen jump business, right?
I mean, the descriptor that we put on the sheet for this was Gunga aim. So, I mean, it's one way to describe it. It makes sense.
Yeah, I was like,
Not sure if that's the technical term, but, you know.
That's technical as we need to be, dear man.
Exactly. You throw that on a map pooling sheet and everyone instantly understands what you mean. It's like, all right, where's my grand? I'm ready.
It's something for sure, though. If you want to stream, you're not going to find it here. Go find a different map.
Yeah, I mean, I saw one 9-note burst earlier. Does that count?
Oh, God.
I'm not quite sure how much the definition of stream has changed recently.
You're pushing the boat out of there, mate.
Yeah.
9 notes in a row, pressing Z and X.
Oh, man. I mean, it's just more and more of this until the very end of the map. Nice combo from Shiv. Thanks for the... I think this is a very old replay, actually. I think this is a couple years old at this point. But nice replay regardless. And yeah, it's aim. It's lots of aim. It's 4 minutes of lots of high spacing aim. If you have a good aim roster with 3 really good aim players, this is your map. If you don't, you may consider banning this.
Yeah. See that screen jump? Literally corner to corner at the end there. Good score, actually, from Chiv. Nice team miss.
Yep. All right. And as I said earlier, you know, we try to keep it relatively variable with some mechanics and some gimmick and some mechanics and some gimmick. So we're going to move from aim consistency to aim control with the Nomad 4. This time it's the alt map in Nomad 4 in the Nomad pool. Skigamichiru by Tsukuyomi, the top difficulty map by Raihoro with a Blue collab for this map.
I haven't seen A-Blue in the mapping side of things. That's good to see. Yeah, ulti styling, 140 BPM. Got a mix of the linear and the flow aim, I think, from when I had a look at it. And there's times in this where some of the spacing gets quite high. It almost feels like a very high BPM jump map for parts of this.
Yeah, this is definitely modern alt, right? Like a lot of older alt maps, like you used to see back in the late 2010s, were a lot about flow aim and very high spacing flow aim, kind of like Justice Monster, right? Kind of emblematic of that style of flow aim alt. This one far more focused on kind of swaps between high spacing flow and very high spacing snap, and a lot of the highest spacing patterns in modern alt maps tend to be that kind of snappier focus, as you can really get a lot higher spacing on that without just, you know, using the entire screen at once for one pattern, like you kind of have to do with those flow aim alt maps. And even then, you can see some of those pentagons, right? Like an entire quadrant of the map is just taken up by a single 5-note burst.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of geometry going on here. There's a square just afterwards as well. Little back and forth thing. Yeah, certainly modern alt is the descriptor. There's quite a lot of different kinds of styling what you see in like modern alt maps here. And with it being in the 4v4 slot, you need your full team for it. I think the style that a lot of the players remaining are going to be familiar with. Some will be better than others, though, so it'll be a tight fight whenever he appears.
Yeah, this map definitely, I think, a relatively difficult 4v4 pick, by the way. This is 7.3 stars, and for a 4v4, that is quite difficult still. So you may have some teams that just cannot field a good roster for this sort of map really at all. And for those teams, you may look towards some of the other mod pools with some slightly easier maps. So hopefully you'll see some relatively solid teams on other 4 slots throughout the weekend, but for this one in particular, definitely I think a lot of the stronger teams with high roster depth will excel on this map.
Alright, okay, yeah, so some of the other mod pools have more accessible maps to it. Yeah, looking at the patterns at the end there, I see what you mean. There's some proper big spacing on those back and forths at 180 BPM. The ending doesn't look okay.
No.
Nice ice rank, what the hell?
Yeah, one slider break right in the middle on that reverse slider, and then another on in the map right near the end. So nicely done from Taquito. And now we can move on to the hidden pool. We talked about modern alt. Here's some more of that flow aim alt. You know, last week we had remote control. This week it's Kokosoko. We're trying to keep them in the hype beast picks, that is. We're trying to keep them in the 1 slots, the 2 slots, make sure that these are some of the most hype picks in the pool. We got a lot of really close maps out of remote control. Hoping for something similar here from Kokosoko this week.
Absolute banger. Not biased at all, it's Yuri.
No, of course not. No.
And the 1v1 slot as well. Yeah, more ult style, but a very different flavor, as you mentioned. It's very, very linear. It's very linear, but it's a map with so many little spacing changes. I mean, personally, I cannot play this map for the life of me because the tiny little spacing changes just completely throw me off. You need to be hyper snappy when things start kicking off, especially like sections like that. And it's on hidden as well.
Yeah, this is a this pick on hidden gets way harder. So yeah, good luck to the teams on this one. This is 1v1, so you know, I just pooled this because we needed another really hard alt map. And I think this contrasts well with the No Mod 4 for all you alt players out there who might have to practice this.
I imagine, yeah, quite a few of the players are familiar with this one. It only gets you so far, though. I don't know how often it's been pulled in like mod pools, but I suppose the AI is high enough that if you're perfectly comfy on your hidden, it's not too bad. But with it being flow aimy on the hidden, unless you're a specialist, it can be pretty nasty. But I suppose with it being in 1v1, it kind of helps there, right? You just stick your hidden major in there, and it might not be too bad. But I can see some teams really struggling to find one good player on this.
Yeah, there's definitely some teams that are going to see this in the pool and just need to ban it.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes how it is with these 1 slots. I feel like we've seen some teams have really solid runs with just picking into 1 slots, even as lower seeded teams. I don't know if that's going to be the case on this map. And some teams, there's kind of 2 strategies that have developed, and I don't know which one's correct. Sometimes the teams that are better are picking into 4 slots because they just want to abuse roster depth. And sometimes the teams that are lower seeded are picking into 4 slots because they know those are easier than the 1 slot maps, and they might not have a single member with the skill cap to compete on those. So I think skill cap going to become all the more important this weekend as these 1 slot picks hit the realm of absurdity, right? Like, this is stuff that you would expect to find in grand finals of most open rank 4v4 tournaments, not in semis.
Yeah, it's pretty absurd for a semis pool, but I'm sort of just at this point of acceptance of how good players are these days. There's some of those patterns at the end of this, actually. This replay was going to go into ham on one of those linear sections just now. Yeah, this it's a familiar map, but this is really hard on hidden. I think depending on the sort of map, though, like to talk about your point earlier about which pick or which kind of strategy is right. It depends on the sort of map. I think this one is going to benefit the higher end teams simply because you need an absolute beast on this sort of thing to really get a good score in it at all. Some people might just struggle at all finding one.
Speaking of absolute beasts, thank you Verterix for the replay on that one. That was a sick replay actually. Let's go. Yeah, Verterix is the same rank as me. We're both like rank 4100. I don't know how that guy gets 200k on the map with hidden. That's crazy actually. All right, on to the next pick in the hidden pool. We go from something that has honestly some relatively straightforward flow aim, right? It is kind of tricky. There's a lot of aim control in that map. But I think more straightforward than something like this, Yotogi Banashi, except it's mapped by Halia and it's AR9. This map is really, really damn hard. This is AR9 awkward speed consistency. There's a very small subset of players who I think can get really good scores on this. Obviously, myself is included. This is definitely a replay by me.
Oh man, I didn't realize you were the AR9 hidden beast. Let's go, Dio.
Yeah, the AR9 240 BPM beast. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this map is kind of absurd. I mean, we were picking up Kokosoko. This one, I think you can argue is even worse because it is so specialized. Not only is it speedy, and it's got a good speed element. Yeah, 240, but it's so awkward and it's so dense. And it's got a lot of patterning where if you just mash through, you're going to miss. Like that pattern right there. That stack note right there, if you're going willy-nilly on that, you're just going to miss. This map takes a lot of control as well as mechanics and the reading side. Kind of crazy.
This map is actually sick, but it is so hard. Yeah, I mean, this is only 7.2 stars, but I think this is more than hard enough for a 2 slot in this pool. You could have easily just put this in hidden 1 and been happy with it, but yeah, some more tapping and some more reading in this slot. This is really, really tough. So good luck to the players on this one. Note that there will not be a low AR hidden map this week. We do have that low AR no mod pick already, so not going to be a low AR hidden map in the pool this weekend. We've got a special surprise later on in the pool, but for now, yeah, no low AR reading in the pool. You'll have to make do with this sort of density check in the hidden pool, and even then, just because you're good on density doesn't mean you're good on this map. This is so difficult.
This is a crazy replay, actually. That is a great score, by the way.
That's a great score. Thank you, me, for the replay. Obviously, definitely myself. Yeah, nice score. That'll do it for the first half of the hidden pool. We're into kind of the 3-4 slots, the easier maps in the hidden pool, and we'll get into a pretty long string of customs here to start us out. Beginning with the hidden 3, Time to Say Goodbye by Jeff Williams featuring Casey Lee Williams. This one mapped by Ferdeza, the Adieu difficulty. This is your awkward aim hidden pick. It is 250 BPM, AR 9.5, CS 4.3. Lot of kind of aim control focused patterns in this map, punctuated by some very, very high spacing patterns in the Ki times.
This map is pure anti-aim. It's almost every single aim pattern is designed to just make your cursor feel all uncomfortable and nasty. The AR's doable, but at this high BPM as well, having to deal with these awkward aim patterns does target towards a specific sort of player, not just a sort of comfy aim player or the general aim player. You need a lot of control as well.
Yeah, I mean, just look at all the linear patterns, all of the as you said, anti-aim patterns, changes between very high and very low jump spacing all over the place in this map. Really, really heavy use of linears in this map, as well as kind of those typical wide angles or right angles that you find a lot of time in awkward aim maps.
The way it often goes from wide spacing into tiny spacing, all on like a linear sort of pattern. It's tricky enough on no mod, but yeah, putting on hidden gives it the extra layer of source. But again, at the very least, it's not lower AR. I don't think it's really needed after the last hidden, right?
No, no, it's really not.
It's really not.
This is somewhat dense. I mean, it's 250 BPM. By the way, that's a stream. Make sure you hit that correctly. It's not 1/3. That one is a full stream. And make sure you can hit those back and forth patterns. Like, this is where the spacing really starts to get pretty high. So that second ki time and this last ki time coming up after this slow section are really where it starts to get a little ridiculous. This slow section going to be a little bit of free combo. If you can hit the entire first half, you get rewarded in this map. And I think that works because the first half is still pretty difficult, even in relation to the last ki.
Bit of a calm before the storm, before the solo.
Seal. Thank you, Vertex.
Ah, it's beautiful. Truly a work of art if I ever seen it.
Some more of this anti-aim, some more linears, some more just really tough patterning. I mean, look at these jumps in this part, man. More of those 1/3 into the 250 BPM streams, by the way. Oh my god, that jump
Honestly,
is nasty.
the damn patterns in this map are just absolutely filthy. I mean, my skill set leans more towards the low AR stuff, so stuff like this just pains me to watch because I know I can't play it at all.
Yeah.
Oh, it's tricky, man.
I'm an aim player. This still looks pretty hard. It still looks pretty rough. But if you've been watching so far, you've probably wondered, hey, Dio, you're map pooling. Where's the tech, man? Like, we've gone through the entire no mod and almost the whole hidden pool. There's no tech. Well, here we go. We're getting some just hard tech. Blackie Design giving us a custom map here. Argena by Ferroquitus versus Lar. 6.59 stars, but don't let that fool you. This easily qualifies for a 7.5 star map pool. 4v4 slot here in the hidden pool. Still a little bit tricky on this one with some sliderator usage and some tons of high velocity sliders in this map.
I absolutely love this map. It's one of my favorite ones I've seen from it. It's super nice. Looking really fun. And yeah, as you mentioned, it's got a touch of sliderator, some tasteful sliderator. Dotted around here. You'll be some tech. Of course, it's on hidden. Again, it's on the higher ARs, so it's not too troublesome, I suppose, for a lot of teams. But again, it's a 4v4 map, so you need a decent team for something like this. I think in terms of the flow and the feel, it's a fairly standard style modern tech map, minus the mod, of course, that it's on, and a bit of sliderator, which you don't really see very often in tournament maps.
No, since sliderator was outlawed in ranked maps, you don't see a lot of people using it anymore. So its usage has really gone down quite a bit. So seeing it here makes this pick really unique among the rest of the pools, honestly. I don't think we have any other sliderator maps in the entirety of the map pools. So this is going to be a very different sort of pick from what you might see in the rest of the pools. And you can already see exactly why this map fits the tech description, right? We needed some tech. We got some tech in the pool here in the hidden. Super long sliders really make this map very difficult with how high their slider velocity is as well.
You've got these sliders looking like Mario Kart tracks out here.
I mean, seriously, like trying to follow a lot of those with the slider ticks is very, very difficult. So do make sure your roster is prepared for something like this. Yes, it's a 4 slot. Yes, it's easier than the rest of the hidden pool, but that doesn't mean it's an easy map. And at this point, roster depth really does start to matter. Overall skill floor for your team really starts to matter. And I think we'll start to see a lot of teams get heavily skill capped in this round.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky to field a strong 4 for something like this on hidden. But I think certainly compared to, I guess, that no mod 4, it's probably more manageable for a lot of teams. Still tricky, though. And it's got a decent flame element as well, which is always exacerbated when you throw hidden on.
Yeah. All right. And that leads us from the 4 slot into the 1 slot once again, getting a map that I think would probably fit pretty well in grand finals in most 4v4 open rank tournaments. We move on to the Hard Rock Flow Aim stream pick this week. Yet another custom, 3 in a row now. This time from Wowie, one of the poolers himself. Rush E2 by Sheet Music Boss. the Reverberating Deluge difficulty. This is 2 minutes and 30 seconds of some really, really difficult flow aim streams with hard rock applied.
Man, Wowie was cooking with this song choice, let me tell you. Or whoever suggested this tune, give him an award. When I first saw this, I was like, hang on, is this the one I'm thinking of? Yeah, it's some flow aim, man. Lots and lots of flow aim. It's, I mean, you can almost get away with it being your sort of standard no-mod stream map, but it's got a bit more to it than just that flow aim as well. And it's on hard rock, of course.
Yeah, a little bit of finger control, of course. You can see those 1/6 quads throughout this map, but that's as much as you're going to get on this. There's a couple of 1/3 and 1/6 in this section as well, but a lot of this is really focused in on that flow aim. And I beg every player to play this map at least once with custom hit sounds on. You'll see what I mean soon, but you must play with custom hit sounds at least once. That's a hit sound. Wait, that's not a hit sound? That's not a hit sound? I didn't think that was part of the song. That's just oh my god.
Entitled Rush E2. I hope there's a second E. Well, I'm going to be really disappointed though.
I know, right?
Then excels and decels and little snappy aim changes in the streams. Stops and starts, especially on the smaller circle size. Then you throw in the control as well, so you can't just pure flow aim it. You do have to be awake for this one. Little pads like that harder than they look.
Yeah. This is definitely a really, really tricky map. I mean, this comes in at 7.8 stars, and even then I think it's harder than the star rating implies. Konkon Kinekon just going off in this play. Slider streams, whatever. Doesn't actually matter. Like, this, yeah. And the double tap, by the way. And the double tap at the end of the map.
2B in my stream map.
And there's your second E.
Oh, thank God. I'm blessed today.
Rush E2. Thank you, Wowie, for that custom. And now we get yet another Hard Rock custom, actually. Last week in the Hard Rock 2 slot, we had some CS 7.8 precision. We're not going quite that extreme this week, but we are still getting some higher circle size for the precision pick. It is CS 7.15 this time around. Custom map by Nick. Max Burning by Blacky. This is the kind of finger control, aim control precision pick for this weekend. Last week we had pretty much pure aim. This week we get a little bit more mixed skill set in the precision pick.
It's another absolute slapper in the customs this week. Classic rhythm game song here, Max Burning. On the uber precision as well, the super small CS. Yeah, as you mentioned, it's got a bit of everything. It's got a decent amount of aim, it's got a decent amount of control, decent amount of flow aim. It's a very mixed map on what is an unusually small CS. I mean, we're seeing more of this super low precision in tournaments recently. But normally they're more focused on one skill set, but this is a very sort of all-around map outside of the precision.
Yeah, and again, particularly for this tournament, the reason we're doing this super low circle size is, you know, you don't need 4 players. Just put 2 people in who are good precision players and let them pop off. Do all teams have 2 really good precision players? No. But, you know, bans exist, so use that, I suppose, if it's really a problem for your team. But I think with this format, it's far easier to put in some really extreme precision. And even then, with the baseline being CS 6.5 for precision, CS 7.15 is not too far off from that.
No, I think I can see most teams fielding 2 decent players for this. The comfort disparity is going to show, I think, in a lot of the matchups, but I can't see it being one of the scariest maps considering what we've already seen so far, and I imagine what we're about to see. But with anything, when it comes to something like this, super precision, it's always going to be a very scary prospect for certain players, certain teams. Because it is a specialist skill set once you get beyond 6.5, even now.
It is.
It's like the equivalent of going below AR8 on a low AR reading pick. It's just discomfort once you get smaller than CS 6.5. And on a map this mixed, it's going to be a challenge for many teams to pick a strong 2.
Yeah, absolutely. This map is relatively tricky, even despite how it looks, I think. Just because of it being that CS 7.15. Originally, we had this actually at CS 6.5 and Chilier Parasite Red FC. So we buffed it.
Blame Chilier then.
Instantly buffed it half a circle size up to 7.15. And I think it is a good fit for the middle of the Hard Rock pool here. As now we can move into some more kind of unconventional stuff for the Hard Rock 3. Finally, a non-custom. After 4 customs in a row there, we get Yume Hanabi, my Nakiri Ayame, mapped by Pedal. This is the Hard Rock tech pick for the 3v3 pick in Hard Rock. Second tech pick of the pool, of course, with the first one being that custom Hidden 4. This one still focused on the slider aim, a little bit more on the finger control and beat snap divisor changes rather than those super long high velocity sliders like we saw in the Hidden 4.
Yeah, no Mario Kart sliders on this one. More about the the raw kick slider aim and that control side. There are a few bursts as well, but they're very localized and there aren't too many of them, so it's a different focus in terms of the map. And of course, this is Hard Rock, the last one was Hidden, so a different target audience for those. I'd rather play something like this on that AR10.
Don't be fooled by those patterns, by the way. Those are spaced slider triples and then the normal slider jumps right afterwards. Those can be really deceptive and very, very tricky with how high the spacing is on those patterns.
I was definitely more fixated on some of the burst patterning, some of the control stuff actually. I didn't quite realise that, but it's a fairly mixed one, this, when I was taking a look at it. It's a mixed one, but of course you don't have those crazy high SV sliders. It felt more like it was about the aim as well as, and that control rather than more pure sort of no mod 4 style control, I suppose, if you get one thing.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot less about the super high velocity sliders, especially like we saw in last week's No Mod 1 and quarterfinals, in this week's Hidden 3, but definitely still fills the tech role, and especially on Hard Rock, that aim control is made all the more difficult with that smaller circle size, so you really need to be on top of it, especially, if you accidentally misread something, there's just far less room for error when you misread on Hard Rock than there is on any other mod.
A slightly unrelated note, but I was not surprised when I saw this song in the pool and found out that it was a tech map.
Yeah,
I'm a whoops deal.
This was not my pick. You can talk to Woey about this one. I don't know how he found this map and pegged it as a tech map. Like, I don't know. Like, I hear this map and I'm like, yeah, aim map, surely. Like, aim or alt, one of the two. But no, 165 BPM Hard Rock tech is apparently what this song lends itself to for mapping. I don't know. Mappers are cooking nowadays. That's what I have to say. Mappers are cooking.
They really cooked on that stream pattern. Did you just see that? That was a disgusting stream pattern. I mean, it does have that minor stream element, particularly in that solo. That's a scary stream. A couple of huge, like 1/4 jumps in there too. I wonder how that's going to pan out when this map gets played.
It'll be a tricky one regardless for everyone who goes in on this. This is relatively long also. This is 3 minutes and 40 seconds of drain time. So you have to be really consistent at this to put up a good Hard Rock score.
Proper spicy. I guess compared to some of the other maps we've seen so far, though, this almost seems like one that may be more doable for a lot of the teams. Like I said, the AR might help out with the reading on the side of this one.
Yeah.
But with the variance in patterning, it's spooky, and you need 3 for it. You need 3 players for it.
Yeah, this is a really tough one. So good luck to the players on this one, because I think it's a little more accessible. You do have some slightly easier patterns in some places than something like the Hidden 4, but still very tricky aim control pretty much all throughout that map. And now we get what I think is the most accessible map of the pool. We're going into yet another custom here in the Hard Rock 4. It's a collab between Deka and Iljaz. Veilstein Castle by Falcom Sound Team JDK, the Conqueror difficulty. 7.36 stars on Hard Rock, 210 BPM. This is the pick that I think a lot of the lower seeded teams left in the tournament will want to lean into, as it is by far the most accessible map in the pool, but still 3 minutes and 30 seconds of drain time and Hard Rock aim consistency at 210 BPM doesn't make this a particularly easy map objectively.
No, everything is relative compared to what we've seen so far. But I'd agree that, yeah, the skill set would lend itself towards more comfort than some of the other picks would be. Sort of relatively high BPM aims, like 210 BPM. Fairly comfy aim shapes. It's certainly no farm map, but it's sharp angles, relatively doable for the aim teams. With it being 4v4 as well, it spreads the load, I suppose. For something like an aim map where it can be very volatile, almost RNG at times. So yeah, I'd agree this one would be very accessible. I imagine we'll see it quite a lot as well. I guess we'll see how it plays out. Though. I think I remember seeing a few streams in this, especially later on as well. Relatively short, not exactly death streams, but there's a definite like stream element to it at times.
Yeah, not death streamy, but I would say bursty is how I would describe this. Like some kind of long bursts, some short bursts in this, but 210 BPM for aim consistency. You're not going to see too many long streams in this at all. And honestly, what you see is what you get with this. It's Deka Iljaz, relatively comfortable aim, punctuated by some linear patterns and some awkward stuff to put emphasis on some of the sounds you hear in the song, and otherwise feels really good to play. Of course, replayed by Nanoya, aka Play Trails.
Oh, right. There's a Nanoya replay. Alright, fair play. Hey, nice score. There's a few of them streams, or a few of them bursts. Just say they're long enough to be.
I think that one's
have to be aware of.
Yeah, I'd call that one a stream. That was more than 16 notes. That's a stream.
That's a stream. Alright, that's a stream. It's a stream map, guys. Confirmed.
Confirmed. It has streams, therefore it's a stream map. Totally.
It's right in the middle as well, nearly.
Yeah, I don't know. Not too much more to say about this. Deka Iljaz just cook every time you give them a custom map to do. It's very often Falcom Sound Team, and it's very often very good. It's the case with this one as well. We really didn't have to give much direction for this at all. This turned out pretty much spot on for difficulty for 7.5 stars. I think, with it being Hard Rock, the star rating is always a little underweighted on Hard Rock nowadays. Just circle size in general doesn't really get converted very well into star rating. So that slightly lower star rating is still probably about on target for the difficulty. Definitely easier than the Nomad 3, definitely easier than the Hidden 3, and that's the intention with it being a 4v4.
Yeah, but easy map, it certainly is not. With the dynamic of having to field a full team for it, I guess it's closest to like a more standard sort of tournament format pick as you'd expect, but still, it's on Hard Rock, it's high AR, and it's quite long as well. So a lot of consistency required to FC that. Nice score, man.
Yeah. This next one is basically the exact opposite of the pick we just saw. I think this is the single most cooked pick I have ever put in a tournament before.
Oh my god, dude.
Just prepping us for this. This is the single most cooked pick I have ever put in a tournament, and it is an absolute banger. We've wanted Some low AR specialization. This is AR6 double time, 200 BPM, density focused, AR 8.3 after DT, mapped by PO. It's Quelia by Junk. This is something else, man.
Yeah, this is a map of all time. Just take a look at what this is. This is like I'm not even sure how to really go about this one. It's crazy, yo.
It's overlapping streams. It's spaced doubles cut streams. It's doubles jumps across the map. It's just a full-on aim control and reading check on DT with these back and forth linears and squares, geometric patterns all over the place. This is as gimmicky as gimmick specialization gets in tournament.
It's nearly 200 BPM, so I mean, it's not exactly super high BPM, but on this sort of AR, it's very, very dense. Spacing's super hard to read as well. That perfect stacking doesn't make things easy, especially when you have those doubles and the quads. That pattern in the middle with the squares and the diamonds with the doubles and the quads on them. It's not okay. At least it's 1v1, so as long as you got one cracked reading player, you can probably play it. How many teams don't have a cracked reading player?
I don't know, but we may see some bans on this during this weekend. That's all I know. Fun story. This map is something that was sent to me on my live stream by PO. Originally, it was AR5, and I said, this is perfect for SSOT. This just has to go in the pools in one slot. And I was just trying to figure out where I could put it, and it just ended up in DT. We got playtesting like yesterday on this from Taquito, who said AR5 is too cracked on this. So we asked PO to upload an AR6 difficulty for tournament, and thankfully PO obliged, and we have the AR6 difficulty uploaded. So thank you, PO, for that. And that'll be the second reading pick of the round, followed up by yet another absolutely cracked out DT pick here. Gidv by Traction, mapped by Galvanize for the 2v2 slot in the DT pool.
And this DT pool is goated already, dude. What the hell? First you have that absolute banger, and now we have a literal banger. Gidv, Galvanize in a map pool in 2024 we're eating good today.
I don't think this has any, like... Oh no, this does have some hidden double time plays, a few. Moe Andre, Intercambing, Ryuke, Nasin, and Amelia on the leaderboard at the top there with hidden double time. And one DTFC from Erison 5 years ago. So this is definitely not super well played. It is a loved galvanized difficulty of Gidv. And pretty standard galvanized mapping.
Yeah, it's a really famous galvanized map, this. I say, not loved a few years ago. Got a place it deserved. I guess it's more of the sort of speed side of things, right? But it has plenty of that old school aim as well that Galvanize was known for. So you got a lot of speed, and you have those sorts of aim patterns. It's a nasty one. This is tough. I didn't realize this map was commonly DT'd, to be honest.
Neither did I when I looked at it, but it works.
It does work, to be fair. I can see it. I guess it's AR9 flat as well, so
yep.
It works all around.
Yeah, with this, we basically wanted to do drum and bass burst speed, so that kind of hybrid aim speed combo, kind of like Crush from round of 16. And I think this does very similar things to what we saw from Crush. Lots of, as you said, that awkward wide angle or linear aim or kind of anti-aim patterns in some places, alongside some of these longer bursts in the map that really make it pretty tough on the speed players.
And those streams are quite spaced as well. Relatively comfy flow for a map this old, but rather spaced at this high BPM. I mean, was it 255, 263? I'm gonna have a quick peek.
261.
261.
Yeah. So
quick.
Still pretty high BPM.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, and that'll bring us to the pure speed pick in the DT pool this time around. Yet another custom for the semifinals pool, mapped by Sanch KK, also known as 228. It is 21 by Icarus Cry. The lunatic difficulty for this map, 7.74 stars and some 231 BPM DT streams in this map.
Yeah, a whole lot of streams. A whole lot of streams. And they get quite spaced on this one as well, especially near the end, I saw. Not too tricky on the flow. I mean, they really don't need to be. But a decent amount of that flow aim as well as the long streams down there. You tend to see really, right?
And this map, I think, really harkens back to kind of some of the older DT flow farm that you used to see before, like 2022 or so. I think after that point, you started to see lots of the kind of Nebula style flow aim that uses a lot of acceleration, deceleration within the streams. This map really has none of that. It's all constant spacing in the streams, so very comfortable, if not for the fact that you do have some flow aim to go along with these streams. That stream pattern in particular actually did get a nerf, so that one will be a little bit easier. The corners on that proved very difficult for a lot of playtesters.
Yeah, I mean, I can see what you mean with like it's very consistent. You bring up a good point actually about a lot of these sort of stream maps being more about those excels. There seems to be a couple in here still, but really not many. So once you've got your acceleration right, it's just about keeping it consistent and getting locked in. But what are the lengthy streams?
Yeah, I mean, this is 48 going on 65 notes for that stream at 230 BPM. There's another about 48 note stream there, and I mean, they just keep coming, right? Like, there's no stopping in this map whatsoever. Finally, a miss from Wraith. Really good replay from him on this map. And thanks to Spicy for the replay on the previous one, and to Keto on the replay for Qualia earlier.
I suppose at this level, with the teams you have remaining, you'd expect, I think in a 3v3, you expect a lot of teams to have a decent 3 for something like this. It's also AR10 flat as well, which brings in, I guess, some of the players that maybe struggle a bit on 10.3 that are left in there.
Yeah, I think this will be
no
very
doubt.
comfortable approach rate for pretty much everybody.
Yeah, AR10, it will be comfortable for everyone. I do wonder, will there be any teams that will struggle to find a full 3 for that? Because the stamina element of that is pretty major, especially near the end, with some of those long streams into more long streams.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think there will be plenty of teams who struggle to fill out full rosters on a lot of the 3-4 slot maps this weekend, and I think that's just due to the pool scaling, right? We have 12 teams left in the semifinals, only 16 qualified. So this is really the round where if you can't keep up with 7.5 star plus maps, your whole team is just going to fall apart. So I think there's going to be a very stark difference between the top teams and the bottom teams this weekend in terms of the score, especially on maps like that are just so polarizing, right? If you can find 3 players on your team who can play that, you're all going to get pretty good scores. But if none of you are really solid and can get 500k plus basically every time, it's going to be rough on a map like that. Because either you can play it or you can't. Either you have the stamina or you don't for a map like that. And kind of similar to the next map, it is yet another DT pick, AR 10.3 DT AIM, custom by Nanoya for the semifinals here. Get in the ring with the Japanese song title Hana wa Sakuragi Hito wa Kaze. It's AR 10.3 DT AIM, 7.6 stars. Actually the lowest star rating in the DT pool. Because even Qualia is 7.65 stars, higher star rating than this map here. And this is the AR 10.3 DT aim pick. It's a little bit of awkward aim. It's a lot of normal aim as well in this map. But I think overall, very comfortable AR 10.3 DT aim in this pick.
Reaching the maps in the pool now. I haven't quite had a chance to look at now, so you're getting live gamer reaction here. But this being the lowest star rating in the DT pool, it really says a lot. How is this lower star rating than Qualia, like the AR6 map? How has that happened? Is it linear aim? Maybe the maybe the doubles and the control bursts in that, maybe.
I mean, to be fair, it's not like this is low star rating. This is still 7.6 stars. It's just
really
that Qualia is very hard. The map is very difficult.
I suppose, yeah, with this being the 4v4, it is the sort of more open slot where you need a lot of players that can play it. And with it being high AR, the DT aim, it's another one where a lot of teams should have a lot of good players for it. But the 4v4 is going to make a big difference. You mentioned about how that the last one would have a big disparity between the higher and the lower seeded teams. This one's probably going to be the same. With it being this high SR, you're really leaving Comfort City when it comes to stuff above 7.5 stars in terms of aim, right?
Yeah, I think this along with Hard Rock 1 or Hard Rock 4, excuse me, I think are probably the two most accessible maps in the pool. Despite this being AR 10.3, I feel like this is still a relatively simple map for a lot of players. And I think we're going to see relatively good team scores on this throughout the weekend in comparison to obviously stuff like the DT1, but even in comparison to things like the Hidden 4, I think are just less accessible due to the nature of, you know, not everybody is good at tech, but very, very many players, especially rank 1,000 and above, are pretty solid on DT aim. It's just such a ubiquitous skill set.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. It's a comfort zone for a lot of players. I'd agree with that, to be fair. Maybe even at this high SR, it's still going to be pretty decent for a lot of people. I think even more so than the DC3. Yeah, I agree. But even then, it's still very high on the mechanics. And there are some awkward patterns in here dotted around as well. I'm noticing. Or awkward aim, I should say, at times.
Yeah, some squares, some wide angle jumps, some anti-aim, some doubles as well. I mean, this isn't just basic. It's simple patterning, but simple doesn't always mean comfortable. And that's definitely the case with this map as well. Still lots of uncomfortable wide angle jumps and anti-aim patterns along with a little bit of finger control. But still, I think one of the more accessible maps in the pool compared to stuff like the upcoming Freemod 1 as well. This Freemod 1, Dooms, I need some live gamer reactioning for this one. This map is an interesting pick. This one was set up by Woey. We had a couple swaps going on last minute, so thanks to Woey for finding this map and getting us the low circle size finger control tech alt hybrid map here for Freemod 1. Mapped by Nadu, it's Dangerous Jungle by Lar.
Well, Lar's an absolute banger. That is a banger song name as well. Go on then, I'm ready. Lay it on me.
Replay for this one, I think, done with Hard Rock, but again by Spicy, once again, for another replay. 160 BPM, 2 minutes and 11 seconds of drain time, but CS 3.5, AR 9.8, OD 9.3. This is meant to be not that much more difficult on either Hard Rock or Hidden, but definitely still a very, very tricky pick. And I think the accuracy with Hard Rock is going to be a major pain point for a lot of players.
Okay, alright. Those are 1.6 there. Yeah, I take it those are 1.6.
I believe so. I don't think those are 1.8.
Yeah, I don't didn't look that crazy, but okay, yeah. So there's a lot of alt aim control here, and a lot of like rhythm control, I suppose, with 1.6 as well.
Yeah, this is, as I said, tech alt rhythm hybrid for this map. Tons of aim control, tons of snappy alt patterns, tons of these 1.6 bursts, and lots of slider streams and other high velocity sliders in this map.
Oh, so many aim patterns in this. It's really nasty. I think the AR, it's 9.8 base. So on the Hidden, you've at least got that high AR to guide you through. And the big old circle size as well, so you're not doing too much precision on the Hard Rock. I think a lot of players may find it easier to read on the non-smaller CS, but these aim patterns look properly hard on Hard Rock.
Yeah, I mean, these aim control patterns near the back half of the map are absolutely absurd. Again, you're competing with stuff like Qualia for 1-slot difficulties, so at the end of it all, I think Embraced by the Flame actually ends up being probably the easiest 1-slot map in the pool in that No Mod 1, and that's still an 8-star stamina map. So yeah, these picks are just hard. They're just hard now.
Yeah.
And the same goes for the next map as well. We've got one last reading pick in the pool. This time it's an anti-mod free mod pick. 1 hidden, 1 hard rock required for each team. On the free mod one, of course, you can choose either hidden or hard rock and be perfectly good. In this one, you need 1 of each for each team. It is Mafan, I think, by DJ Witch Girl Miracle, mapped by Nelatoru, also known as Amamiya Kokoro.
Oh, okay. A player known for playing a lot of games pretty well. Like a lot, yeah. Slightly bigger CS than usual, slightly higher AR than usual for the anti-mod. But I can only imagine there's a price you pay for that.
Yeah, I mean, the patterning in this map kind of speaks for itself. We're back to some similar patterning from the No Mod 2 earlier on in the pool. Lots of flow aim difficulty, lots of finger control and tech aim control difficulty in this pick, on top of it being that lower approach rate and higher circle size. So whether you're taking hidden or hard rock on this, you're suffering. You're suffering.
Yeah, these stop-start aim patterns and those burst patterns, yeah. Even on like the lower AR 8.4 is low enough to make this pretty tricky. It's the stops and starts, I think, that make it nasty on the low AR. And the circle size there, it's small enough. Those burst patterns, the aim is going to be pretty tough on them, I can imagine, on hard rock.
Yeah, I mean, still CS 4.8, so pretty close to that CS 5, pretty close to CS 6.5. I think this is CS 6.2, pretty much exactly, 6.24 or something like that, after hard rock, so still very high circle size. I think once again, it's going to be a relatively tricky map to find 2 really good players for most teams. This reminds me of Metamorphose from Yolk's Pie, with how the patterning works on lower approach rate, right? When you get these types of free mod picks on anti-mod, players are often just completely out of their depth because so few people actually play this style of map on low approach rate.
Yeah, it is uncommon. I mean, outside of tournaments as well. We've seen a few of them in tourneys, but in solo, not so much. Yeah, I could see it. I suppose so the slightly more forgiving settings make it a bit more accessible, but the patterns are pretty damn nasty on that one, on a 1 try. But like again, I can see some teams building a decent 2 for that one, to be honest.
Yeah.
Doesn't say it's easy though, by no means.
no, but it's definitely possible. Same for the next map. This next one, our last custom in the regular pool. This is BBBB by Frog96, mapped by Ryusei Aika. We just let him cook. That's what I have to say about this map. We told Ryusei Aika, go cook and give us the final product. And this is the map that he cooked up for us.
Okay, AR9 flat, CS 4.3. I see it's labeled Rhythm Tech. So you really say Aika Rhythm Tech. I'm slightly afraid.
I would say that label is a little bit inaccurate. This ended up being more like, despite what the Mappool sheet says. Sorry for tricking you with that, but I think this is far more like just kind of flow gimmick. I don't really know how to describe this. There's a lot of back and forth flow aim sections in this, far less rhythm than what you saw on some the free mod 1, for example. I think the pool already had enough of that. We don't really need more finger control in the pool. And yeah, there's some here, but it's not in the same style as you would get from, the 2021 Devious Panda rhythm maps, for example. This is a very different style of gimmick map, you might call it.
What is this cursor dancing, Worry?
What was that cursor dancing? Why would you cursor dance that slider? How do you hit that slider while cursor dancing?
Just Worry things.
Yeah.
Well, it's very flow aimy. Yeah, I see what you mean. Some of those doubles coming out. Triples even.
Triples, 1-8 triples. And again, we didn't give Ryusei Aika any particular direction. He was one of the few mappers that we said, okay, we want a map from you, cook, and give us the final product. Toybot was one of those. The custom that we saw in this pool from Deka and Iljaz was one of those as well. Devious Panda's custom in round of 16 was one of those as well. So a few of those more memorable maps were cooked up without much direction from the team, and this is one of those.
Yeah, I think Ryusei Aika rips out a barbecue for these streams. Like, good God.
This is kind of why I called it almost flow gimmick. What else do you call this? I don't really think there's labels. We don't have tournament slots for this map.
No, this is its own thing. This map is just vibing. It looks super fun though. Actually, it seems like the sort of thing I'd jam out a lot, especially in the free mod as well. Also 3v3, you need 3 players for it. God, I mean, I imagine some of those overlapping flowing patterns might get pretty nasty on the hard rock, but at least they'll be much more readable. Those overlapping patterns, especially the ones in the middle on the AR9, might get some players tongue-tied if they have to throw a hidden on it and are not in the least fully comfortable. Oh my god.
I mean, this is just you could just full note lock that stream, right? What I don't know what to call this besides flow gimmick. There's so much else going on in this map that it hurts to give it just kind of a slot descriptor.
It's what can we do with flowing patterns that aren't just flow your cursor along? Let's do all sorts of weird things to it. I just feel like there's a lot of almost theory crafting on weird flowing patterns all around this, the pattern in the middle and that big triangular overlapping thing. Which it's only 9, but that's note lockable if you break it the wrong way. I'm curious to see how this one works out in match for those hidden players, but it looks super fun.
It's gotten great feedback from all the playtesters who have played it so far. I'll tell you that much. I think the map is really, really fun. Yeah. And I think players are going to be pretty happy with picking into that through this weekend, despite some of the just absolutely wacky patterning in that map. That back and forth slider about a third of the way through is just hilarious. But I think despite how some of those patterns look, the feedback has been really good on that map. So thank you to Ryusei Aika. Thanks to Wowie for the replay. And now, on to the last pick of the regular pool. It is Blows Up Everything by Usao, the countdown difficulty mapped by Loki Doki. This is some... I can use the Miles term here. I can use Miles' term for this map. This is mech tech. And I call it that not because it's just aim tech or because it's speed tech, but because it's both. It's a mix of aim and burst and tech all in the same map, with a lighter focus on tech than on a lot of other tech maps in the pool.
The description kind of fits I guess a lot of the higher SR maps I see for Usao songs. I feel like there's a way a lot of mappers map Usao tunes. It just seems to suit the techie mechanics side of things more than pure control tech, right? Especially I guess because a lot of them are fairly high BPM as well. And this one's no exception. It's 215. It's getting up there.
Thanks a bunch to Taquito for this replay, by the way. This is the sickest replay of the Mappool Showcase, because this is a double S with Scorby 2 on this map.
Oh, I didn't actually notice the S. Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, this play is awesome. Really good replay.
Okay, Taquito. He's pretty good.
Yeah, and again, I think this is, despite how a lot of the patterning looks on this map, also pretty accessible. This is 7.35 stars, CS 3.8, AR 8.8. So I think hidden players are going to be pretty happy on this. Hard rock players, I think this is a little harder on hard rock than on hidden, for sure. But it is CS 3.8. I think hard rock players will be just fine on this. You only need one hard rock player after all on the free mod. So I think this is going to be relatively balanced for a lot of teams, and I think a lot of teams will be able to field a pretty good roster on this map.
Yeah, I think it's alright for the no mod. I think, hard rock is going to be pretty spicy on this. I guess just because of the mechanical side of things. AR is not so low that the hidden players are going to be having a nightmare on it. All relative, of course, but I suppose compared to the hidden 4 as well, which is more control tech, this one's more, you said mech tech. It's a different flavor to tech that I think a lot more people will enjoy, I guess, more maybe than the hidden only. Maybe.
Yeah. I think there'll be some variety on that one. Definitely some people who might prefer the hidden, some people who might prefer the no mod. I think we'll probably get minimum hard rock on that map for sure on the free mod 4.
Oh, yeah. And
that leads us to the last map in the pool. It's yet another Usao song. This time it's a custom mapped by Weo Wheat, collab by Usao and Kobario. The difficulty name, I cannot believe that he submitted this. It's on the website as 5 minutes of penis music, wiggly speedcore, bazooka, hardstyle, gabber, breakcore, IDM. That is the on-website difficulty name. Mappers.
Is that replay mode text going to like cover the whole screen?
Yeah, actually, the replay mode, the difficulty name was longer before. It was longer before submission. It's actually just going to cover the entire screen at the top.
You had to nerf the difficulty name.
He had to nerf the difficulty name before uploading. Here we go. Wiggly speedcore, bazooka, hardstyle, gabber, breakcore, IDM, multi-BPM UK techno. Just absolutely absurd. What do you... Mappers. I don't know, man. This is a tech tiebreaker. There's not a ton else to say about this. This is mech tech tiebreaker plus lots of actually really difficult tech patterns. It's Usao and Kobario. It's a remix of tons of well-known Usao and Kobario songs in the same song by themselves. I think this one's kind of self-explanatory. Just sit back and watch. This is kind of what you expect from the quote-unquote multi-skill 2022 to 2023 era of custom tiebreakers, right? You look at Palace of Melancholia, you look at RPG, you look at King Atlantis, you look at the Citra song from OWC 2022. This is kind of the same style, right? You have a lot of streams, a lot of aim, a lot of tech, and some alt patterns through this song as well. It's tiebreaker core. Tiebreaker core.
Yeah, I think that's an apt two-word description for it. I think it's the mixed tech tiebreaker we see a lot. It's my favorite kind. Some of my favorite maps to play in this game, straight up on maps like this with a bit of everything. I'm a bit of a tech player myself. I like my control, but stuff like this with a bit of mechanics, a bit of tapping, a bit of mixed here, there, and everywhere for 5 minutes long it's some of my favorite stuff to play. But in terms of tournament, of course, when you get to this sort of mechanics difficulty, this map is 7.8 stars, right? And you need a 4v4, of course, for the TB. It gets pretty serious. I guess at this level, a match going to TB, you've played a lot of the maps. You've probably had to tackle some of the really scary stuff in this pool at least once, if not more. And at this point, you do need some serious metal to have a strong 4 for something this hard. And this is semi-finals as well, so plenty more to go in SSOT in terms of these difficult tiebreakers, and this is already really serious difficulty that you need some very strong all-around players to get anything decent on, really.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I wanted to talk about this at some point through the showcase. So I guess, on the tiebreaker is a good point to talk about it. Semifinals, we go from 12 teams to 6. So we are cutting down half of the playfield at this point. We're going all the way down to top 6. And this is kind of the round where you want to make that hard line differentiation between, is your team really, really good or not? And if your team cannot hold up on maps this difficult, you will never make it in finals. So we wanted to make the pool kind of with that big jump in semifinals, and I feel like that jump turned out very pronounced in this pool. There's lots of extremely difficult picks, and this tiebreaker definitely brings out quite a lot of the higher difficulty that you are going to see in the last 2 rounds of the tournament.
Yeah, I definitely could see that when I was going from looking at the pool this week, which I did prep on really as early as this morning, then looking at this one today, it really is very pronounced. You look at one, then look at the other. It's a huge jump from what was already a really nasty pool in the quarterfinals. So many more specialist picks that are very specified, not least of which things like quali at the ET1, things like that. But even some of the picks where you need a large, the 4v4s, like that no mod 4 map, things like that. Even you get away from just having one specialist player that can carry you through some of those nasty picks. You need a strong core team to deal with some of these higher play count picks as well in the semis. And I can only imagine that's going to become more of a thing you guys go for in later rounds. You guys pushing even more on that side of things, or are you going to keep that close to your chest, I guess?
Well, you can certainly check the map pool sheet and see for yourself. I think the players will just have to wait on that one.
Okay.
But yeah, the players will have to wait for that one. But definitely, as we get to the later rounds, the expectation is that these teams will have good specialists for both the mechanics and the gimmick side of things. And we're going to keep kind of using both here in the 1-2 slots for the specialist and the 3-4 slots for for everything, really. I mean, there will be some specialist picks that are mechanics focused and some that are more gimmick focused, and hopefully that kind of variety is still able to shine through in the later rounds as well. As we get the speed core ending to this, nicely done by Kinikon. Thank you so much for the replay, and thanks so much to WeOEat for the custom tiebreaker here in semifinals.
That's a really cool tiebreaker, by the way. I think I'm too washed to play it, but it looks like a banger. Can't wait to see that. Hopefully played next week in the semis. That looks sick.
It's a great map. Shout out to WeOEat once again. Shout out to all the custom mappers. We had a ton of customs this week, actually. We had the custom Nomad 2 from Zek, the Hidden 3 from Ferdeza, the Hidden 4 from Blackie Design, the Hard Rock 1 from Wowie, the Hard Rock 2 from Nick, the Hard Rock 4 from Deka and Iljaz, the DT3 from Sanch KK, the DT4 from Nanoya, the Fremod 3 from Yusei Aika, and the tiebreaker from WeOEat. We had 10 customs, and I think this entire pool is 21 maps, so almost half the pool is customs. I think we did a good enough job balancing around it for the rest of the picks that it should feel like a pretty cohesive pool to anyone playing it, but that'll do it for us here. Good luck to all of the teams coming up this week. We've already seen the bracket as well. We've already talked about all of those matches. The schedules and map pools will be on the sheet and the website shortly. Stay tuned for those. Join the Discord if you haven't already. And last but not least, thanks once again to Wacom and Drunk Deer for sponsoring the tournament. Code SSOT40 on Wacom's site for 40% off Intuos tablets, and OSGO on Drunk Deer's site for 20% off all their products. That's it. That's everything. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to Dooms for coming in to do the showcase with me. And we will be back next weekend with these semifinals matchups on the hardest map pool yet in SSOT. Thank you, Dooms. I hope that wasn't